San Antonio Sports Center.
At long last, the NBA Finals resume tonight. They're shifting their focus to Indiana. Game 3 tonight. You can catch live right here. In the NFL, the mandatory minicaps are well under the way. And in Dallas, Micah Parsons arrived on time, on target. While he showed up for work, Steelers pass rusher T.J. Watt and Bengals Trey Henderson stayed home. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody!
Hump day!
What's that?
Hump day!
It's a hump day. The Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. AJ and Rob on a
Hump day!
Vic, good morning to you. Good morning, Rob Thompson.
Good morning, sir.
How we all doing? How's everybody feeling today?
Pretty good.
Oh, the energy's high in the room.
Yeah, man.
Kinda.
I'm making it.
I'm only having one cup of coffee yet.
Oh, well, you got to be careful with the coffee on the days when Edwin is not here.
I know.
Because,
I already went twice.
oh my God, I think there's something wrong with
You
your
got
body.
to go before
dude.
we leave because we're not pulling this car over.
I think
I'm not stopping. Once we get started, we're not pulling over.
That's why I don't go anywhere.
Hold it.
there might be something wrong with your internals.
Nah, it's a diabetes. I just gotta.
It's the diabetes.
Yeah, I've been living with it for a while.
Well,
I was telling him, though, as bad as it is, it could be worse. You could be Joe Reinig.
Yeah, that's what he was telling me. I was
What's
like,
that?
I don't know.
Reinigel's got a bladder the size of a walnut, man.
oh,
that dude
he
takes
does-
a
you gotta
leak
pull
every
over a lot with
15
him.
Which is fine because,
I'm
you
not
know,
that bad.
I'm no, you're not.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it sucks when you're with somebody like that until you have to go fairly often, too.
Right.
Then you can always just blame him.
Yeah, you just sync up
Joe's
with
always
him.
got to pull over. I gotta
Yeah.
take a leak.
We had to stop between Oxnard and LA.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he literally, it's like 30, 45 minutes, man.
And me, I'm like, I want to, when I would get going, especially if I'm driving, I want to go. And,
Well, part of the reason he had to go is you scared a lot of it out of him.
that's entirely possible. Entirely possible. There was some complaints.
AJ's first guy I thought might lose his job because of his driving. Like literally, we're gonna have to let you go, man. You scared the boss half to death. You can't.
yeah,
can't do
yeah.
it.
the big boss
The
was in
suit
the back.
was in the very back row of a
Hey,
minivan.
but that look would have been priceless.
As
though, right? The
AJ
look
was
on his
doing
face, like,
105 headed south.
Nice.
And he says,
Boy,
hey, guys,
Speed limit.
are we driving or are we flying?
and I'm not
There was
gonna
like a-
lie, I
there
was
was some-
white knuckled, man.
There was some fear in his voice when he
Oh.
said it that was like,
Because you know you sit in the back row. It's kind of like being in the back of a roller coaster. You
Oh,
get a little bit
yeah.
of extra whiplash.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Our man D was
Wow.
woo. AJ gonna lose his job
He
for
did.
speeding.
they're not going to ask me to drive next time, I
Just,
don't think.
You know, I've never seen this happen before.
I don't think I'll be asked to drive going forward, but you know, it is what it is. I like to get where I'm going. Speaking of getting where we're going, we finally got here. We finally made it to game 3. It's about damn time. Good Lord.
I know. I thought preseason was.
I
starting
know. I
already.
feel like what are we
we're about to
doing?
lose attention. I mean, they seriously need to consider what they're doing because I'm certainly thinking and feeling football right now. I mean, yesterday the news cycle was dominated by minicamp.
Yeah.
By hold in, hold out, and NBA
Oh,
was
yeah.
relegated to probably 4th on the.
Yeah.
They got the A. In the
H4.
business, there's your A, your B, and your C spots, and but NBA was relegated to C, maybe D, depending on the day that you were watching or the time of day you were
Well,
watching.
not only that, I'm looking at the front page of ESPN.com. Now, mind you, ESPN is owned by ABC, which is running these finals.
Yeah.
The main headline, the front page photo is NFL Minicamp 2025 live updates. Then there's right below that, there's a sub headline that says answering one big question for 7 quarterbacks entering year 2. Then you go over to the side, top headlines. Aaron Rodgers joining Tomlin, Steelers, best for his soul. Sources, Nick's request for Udoka, Finch denied.
So we got, what's that? That's C-Box?
That's the third thing.
And that's not even the finals.
And that's not the finals. Hard tag reignites Chisholm's feud with Garcia. Baseball.
It's a bunch of words that I don't even understand.
It's
just
top. It was the
word salad.
Top prospect Anthony's family cheers first MLB hit.
Roman?
Yeah. Switzerland routs U.S. in Gold Cup send-off loss.
So they got ranked by soccer on the lap, on the come around. So yeah.
Bolts Harbaugh had cardiac ablation. There's nothing on the front page. It's NCAA avoids bankruptcy. Adams joining Rams, exactly what I needed. Surprise, Aaron Rodgers reveals he's married. There's nothing about the NBA Finals on the front page of ESPN.com.
So you think Adam Silver and his boys sitting up on Fifth Avenue today, getting ready to catch their Learjet to Indiana because nobody wants to stay there more than a night.
Right.
I wake up looking at all the newspapers from across the country. I look at the leads on all the sports, my primary sports, to see where I'm sitting. This is not palatable. I can't do this. This is $1 billion entity, and I'm getting eaten up by soccer.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to dominate the news cycle. I mean, seriously, I'd rather have bad news out today.
They're talking about Jim Harbaugh having hip surgery and Aaron Rodgers being married is a bigger story than Game 3 of a 1-1 NBA Finals.
With a close-up of his ring when he's throwing the football.
So, yes. I mean, this is not what the owners are asking for. This is certainly not what my sponsors are asking for. How much money did I just spend on my basketball group from TNT? How much money we just spend on this?
I mean, it's their own doing.
I know it. So you go, this we can't do. Schedulers, we need to have a meeting.
Yeah.
Whoever's in charge of scheduling, we got to tighten this finals up.
I guess I get that, like in the finals, you want the best possible play, so you don't want to do back-to-backs.
I don't want a back-to-back either.
Yeah.
But 4 days?
It's just too much. Like
It needs to be every other day.
It should be. I mean, it honestly should be every other day.
Yeah.
With no exceptions.
Yes.
And let the Stanley Cup
or not.
go every other day, travel or not.
Players are like kindergartners. Routine matters.
Yes.
And they're used to playing every other day.
And if you just do that, boom, get it done. I mean, now the downside is in a sweep, your finals last a little over a week.
Such is life, man. Dominate the news cycle to the extent nobody's thinking about anything. And I'd rather have 2 days of that
I would too.
Than 3 weeks of, oh, yeah, we finally get a game.
It is. And then they're going to play today and then
disappear till Saturday.
Yeah. What?
Wow.
No, they play that. It might not be Saturday.
I think it's Friday.
It's Friday.
But then after Friday, they don't play a game on the weekend.
You would think it'd be Sunday.
And I understand it's vacation time and people are out and about and in the evenings are eating up. But this is got to get it done, man. Got to get it done, because when I'm looking on a day between the NBA Finals yesterday and a little bit of the day before was dominated by the phenom that showed up in Boston and went 0 for 4 with all that. There was a high fly, the catch of the year. And it seems like basketball's this distant memory. It's like it's done.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, maybe if there was some thought that this was going to be more of a series, but you got a 1-1 split. Like you got what you about as good as you could have hoped for if you were hoping for a competitive series.
Exactly what you'd be chasing. And there is some of that. I mean, it is Oklahoma, Indiana, and Shai Gilgeous, while being a young superstar, isn't the name that LeBron carried or Steph. So they did lose some eyeballs just because of the lack of the top of the fold names, but so does the era change. I mean, this is where we are now.
You know what I thought about yesterday when we finished the show? We didn't mention the NBA Finals yesterday. We spent 4 hours on the radio and didn't talk about the NBA Finals at all
because it was so far away. It still feels far away.
But how can you want that?
They don't. That's why if I'm Silver, I'm sitting with my group going, this, I don't know why this is the case, but we can tighten this up. And if there's no way that we can prognosticate or plan for all 30 teams to make the NBA Finals, maybe we should start looking at one place and we play every night in the same place, kind of like the bubble. Everybody goes to Vegas for a week. Yeah. And there ain't no travel. Everybody gets to stay in a nice hotel, and we do it that way. But we got to dominate because right now we are showing our size by our absence, that nobody misses us, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it boils down to is when no one's talking about you, it's about the worst possible thing that can happen. Can you
imagine in the 2 weeks prior, in the 2 week lag for the Super Bowl, that first week we just went away? No, we just didn't even talk about it.
No, it's crazy.
I can't imagine that the NBA finds this sustainable. No. I just can't imagine.
Well, I doubt they change it because they are stubborn.
Well,
if nothing else.
I think they'd love to, and I do understand that. I mean, you can't. When you own a dome, an arena, you have to fill that thing as often as possible, and you fill these things out 5-6 years in advance.
Yeah,
and there are sometimes that building might be full, so you have to plan appropriately, and the schedules have to match that.
But usually, if you're an NBA franchise, you have first rights of.
Yeah, you're told to block these dates out because there might be in use. But Indiana did not have that in the plans 5 years ago. I think hope springs eternal. But yeah, we can go ahead and schedule something for early June. I think we're comfortable it won't be in use.
Also, let's face it. I mean, that arena in Indiana. It's not like Paul McCartney's playing there this weekend. It's.
Well, I know while it might be something we don't care about, there's a tractor pull. I mean, you got to fill we've had the Alamo Dome here long enough. I mean, you put volleyball in there, kids, you'll do whatever you can. It's got to be booked.
Yeah.
You got to fill the building to justify the expense. So I get why you might schedule something years in advance and go, well, if we make the finals, we'll make do.
No, you got to prioritize your main tenants here. This is awkward, but you know what? Enough bitching about that. We get a game. The question is, what kind of a game will it be? We'll talk about that a lot throughout the day. It is the Morning Huddle on a hump day. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your early morning commute, no major accidents going on this early morning. But your travel time on 1604 westbound from I-10 to 281, that's about 20 minutes. 12 minutes on 1604 northbound I-10 to 35. On I-10 eastbound from Loop 410 to 1604, 7 minutes. 281 southbound, Bastion down to 35, about a 5-6 minute ride. Now, if you guys do see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line so we can check it out. That number 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Always find what you love at Total Wine & More. With so many bottles to choose from, at the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine & More. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. B21.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The basketball playoffs are wrapping up, but the action is still heating up on PrizePicks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. The app is simple to use. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use the code ROAM and get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. That's code ROAM on PrizePicks to get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you get the $50 bonus credit just for playing. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks. Run your game. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit PrizePicks.com for restrictions and details.
June is Gun Violence Awareness Month. Violence prevention is injury prevention.
911, what's your emergency?
Keep guns locked, secure, and out of reach of children. Firearms are the leading cause of death for people under 20. Never leave a gun in your vehicle. Stolen firearms are often used in other crimes. In a moment of conflict, don't let a split decision become a lifetime of regret. Never celebrate with gunfire. It's dangerous and illegal. Prevent an injury, store guns safely. Learn more at sa.gov/health.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s. Our AC is bogus.
Call Right Home Services.
At Right Home Services, we love the 80s, just not on your thermostat. Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. The right AC services, the right team, and the right price. 210-444.
The right stuff. Now we can chill, Mom.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Anywhere you go,
I'm gonna see these guys.
I'll follow you down. Follow you down, but not that far. You saw him, you said?
No, I'm going to go to Denver here in a couple weeks and go see him play.
Denver.
Denver. Yeah. I mean, things to do in Denver when you're dead. And then there's Red Rocks.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Denver. Denver's kind of just a town.
What I hate about my least favorite thing about Denver is the airport is like 100 miles from the city.
And it's way the heck out there. And then once you get in Denver, it's just kind of a city. There's not a lot of there.
Yeah.
I mean,
back when it was the only place you could get weed, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, but
and they used to have a bunch of breweries and stuff. They still have a bunch, but it's not as many as they used to.
It's just not. It's a hub because of its location more than its attitude.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just kind of, it's a good city to go for about 2 days. But after that, there's just not a lot to do.
So it's Gin Blossoms, Spin Doctors,
and Blues Traveler. Talk about your 90s.
Yes. What a trip.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy that, Rob. That'll be a fun.
Me and all the other senior citizens.
I mean, you guys are going up there. They're playing like around here. You know that, right?
Yeah, but it's the Red Rocks.
Yeah. I mean, you'll always be able to say you saw the Spin Doctors at Red Rocks.
Well, if that was my only memory,
it'll still be the Spin Doctors, but they were Red Rocks.
You forget to mention Gin Blossoms.
Yeah, Gin Blossoms. Yes.
And then, how often do you get to see a fat harmonica player? I mean, in the grand scheme of life, you get maybe 5 in your whole life.
The hook brings you back.
That's what I've been told. So if you get to see a big fat,
see a great big fat person.
Well, I'm just saying, you get to see that. You get 5 opportunities in your life. You might as well take advantage.
I thought he got on the Wagovi or whatever.
Maybe he is. Maybe now he's the skinny harmonica player.
That would be a shame.
Juice harp, mouth organ.
That'd be a shame. if he's not a big fat person.
And I'll tell you, I'm down with a harmonica for about, 45, 50 seconds.
Okay.
I mean, I for a good minute there,
You're going to get more than that out of you.
After a while, you're kind of like, why don't you sing?
Well, Bob Dylan does it because singing's tiring.
Yeah, well, and then, anyway, I mean,
so when is that show?
July the 4th or 5th.
Oh, okay. So what are you guys fly up there the 4th?
We're going to go up on Thursday, the day before.
Okay. Look at you.
We off on Friday.
Yeah, we're off on that Friday.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. God bless America.
That's right. Oh man. I'm gonna have a cookout at Rob's pool.
Come on.
I'm
It might not be green by then.
I'm gonna go over there flipping burgers and hot dogs, and
I'll try to get it unswamped.
That's right. Yeah, maybe that. All right. The game tonight, we were talking, is it going to be a game?
Better be. If it ain't, this thing is imminent.
I'm hoping not, personally. I'm hoping if it's a game, it's about about a 7-point game would be cool.
I think a lot of us are banking on that. And if Indiana doesn't win, this will be a gentleman's sweep. It is over.
You think so?
If they don't win tonight, they got to have something in their back pocket. If they don't have, if they get behind at all,
that's it.
That's it, man. They can't afford a 15-point deficit. That's not ever going to happen again. They're never going to come back from that.
I tend to agree that you wouldn't think it happened multiple times in the playoffs, but it has.
There's many things that have to come together for a 20-point comeback. Oklahoma City's seen it from a couple of teams. It will never happen to them again.
I think you're right. I wonder what the health status is of Tyrese Halliburton. They showed him limping around after the game. That might be those might be excuse pains.
I think he's playing a little bit of possum.
You get your ass kicked real bad. It's kind of
Walter Payton looked like he was about to die every time he got up after a tackle, but that's kind of make you think you're wore out.
Okay.
He's playing possum, but if he is sore, Game 3 of the NBA Finals at home, that cures a lot of what ails you.
Well, and also you've just had 18 days off.
And you know what, though, AJ? That's the one thing the NBA can point to and go, well, at least we're not, the game isn't being swayed or affected by some kind of overuse injury. So we do have,
but
we have time for guys to get well.
But you know what? Like the Thunder can sit back and say, well, that's why we built our team on depth.
Truth. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but the NBA can say, and I do recall finals where you're like, man, the injuries are playing too big of a role in this. I don't feel like the outcome is really going to represent the quality of the team because of some late injury. Now, I don't take anything away from winners, but in the long run, you want full health.
I think what we've seen so far is, and it's a tale of two games in this, the Thunder are willing, and the Pacers understand that they are going to have to shoot threes to win.
Have to
in this series. They're not gonna have success in the paint against this defense, and the only way for them to hang is to shoot threes. The Thunder are okay with them shooting threes, but the Thunder do not give you easy threes.
No, they're man defense. They're on you from the time the ball comes out of the net or comes off the baseline. They're already defending you. So it's tough to get those.
They're going to let you shoot them, but they're not going to be open looks.
And it's one of those where they D like this, AJ. You tell your team, don't stop at the three. You're going to have to stretch their defense to the rim. And, you're going to have to do it appropriately, but you're going to have to be a transition basketball team. And you're going to have to get to the rim first and then to the three, or the three will allow you to get to the rim, but you're going to have to beat them down court or be even with them all night. You can't let them get up there before you. If you have the ball and you can see two defensive dudes looking at you, backing up, you're too slow.
You're already too late.
You're already behind the game. So that's when the depth comes into it. That's when the defense that Oklahoma City plays, where they just beat you up to the point where you don't physically have it in the fourth quarter to beat them down court.
Now, what happened in game 1 was they took a ton of those contested threes and they went in. And if that happens, then hey, man, if you can shoot 50% from three, against a team that allows 34% from three, then you're going to have some success. It's just how repeatable is that success is the question. And
it just feels imminent, doesn't it? There's a lot of ifs, and it is a home game. So I'm not going to take away from what they've done. But AJ, you saw it. We've seen it. this is just an imminent team, and they got a taste of what it takes in that last game. They're not going to let up. They're not going to ever give up anything more than a 10-point lead ever. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to be able to get those kind of runs because now they've been through it. They've seen it happen, and they know the dude to defend. They know how to make sure things don't happen. And as we talk about this is a team that's still learning. This is not a team that's been here before. So every lesson learned is then applied. So they're like a snowball. They're getting bigger and badder with every passing minute because they're surviving all these tests. And by the time you get to game 6, when they're breathing fire and they can see the finish line, it's over, man. You cannot let this get out of hand tonight.
Well, and the crazy thing is you still haven't seen an A game from the Thunder.
Isn't that frightening?
Yeah, Shea has played 2 strong games, not his best games.
Well, their second best guy has not played well.
Jalen Williams has not been good, and Chet's he's played about one great half out of the 4 halves. So you have to assume that those guys are coming. Now you can also say, well, is Alex Caruso going to keep doing what he's been doing? And if we do say, hey, over the course of 100 games, this is what Alex Caruso's been, you wouldn't expect him to be a 20-something point a game night guy, but right now it seems like that's what the Pacers are willing to give him. I think they do have to continue to hold down the secondary scorers for the Thunder. Again, it's just easier said than done, though. Right. Jalen Williams is a really good player, and so far he's probably pretty frustrated that he hasn't gotten what he's wanted yet.
And kids sometimes perform better on the road. It's just there's not nearly as much pressure. There's the lack of comfortability. You're in a place where you got to refine your focus. I think when guys are having bad series, normally they break out on the road. And I would do, if I'm diagonal, everything I do first 8 minutes of the game, if there's an opportunity, I'm telling Shea, got to get him involved, man. Let's get him a couple of buckets and let him feel good about himself. And your job won't be nearly as hard once you get that done.
And if I trust a team to play well on the road, to me, it's a team that feels like they're loose and comfortable with each other. Yeah. And we've talked about it all season long. Nobody feels like that more than Oklahoma City does.
Good teams love the road. They love quieting buildings down. It's an adrenaline pump. It's like a drug. When you hit a shot and the whole place goes quiet, it's almost better than a place exploding.
And Brian says the Pacers haven't had their best game yet.
I'd call game 1 a pretty damn good one. I know that it was only a lead of 0.3 seconds, but you come away with a W.
50% from 3, you can't be better than that.
So
you can't be.
The thing about that statement is, like, OK City, they don't let you have your best game. That's an off night. That's why they're here. You don't have your best nights against them because they line up 4 on-ball defenders that could all at some point be voted all NBA.
But it's also, even if the Pacers played their best game, the best the Pacers can play, it's still a coin flip of that's good enough or not. Because the Thunder can play a B game and beat the Pacers A game. That's the difference.
Well, we'll
that's
see
the
tonight.
Gap. That's the gap between the two teams.
And tonight, when you'd think the others won't be as great, you'd expect the Pacers to give you the best that they're capable of. And it's going to take that. And if they have more in the tank, it's going to take, like we're talking about, 50% threes. You're going to have to beat them down court. You're going to have to make sure, as Halliburton, you're going to have to play through contact constantly. You're going to just have to man up for 48 minutes knowing we got to play the best game or it is over, man. We're down. If it's 2-1 them with one more home game and we're going back to Oklahoma City, we will never come back home. This will be our last home game on Friday night.
I wanted to, you mentioned Tyrese Halliburton. I want to discuss his series coming up next. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your early morning commute, no major accidents going on this early morning. Put your travel time on 1604 westbound from I-10 to 281. That's about 20 minutes. 12 minutes on 1604 northbound I-10 to 35. On I-10 eastbound from Loop 410 to 1604, 7 minutes. 281 southbound, Bastion down to 35, about a 5-6 minute ride. Now, if you guys do see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line so we can check it out. That number 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
When you switch to Progressive and bundle your home and auto, you could save hundreds, and that's a surprising amount of money.
Whoa, that's like farmer's market money.
That's like give me a gallon of that locally sourced raw honey money.
That's certified organic heirloom tomatoes in every imaginable color except red money.
That's let's get 2 pounds of pink oyster mushrooms money. I'm not even sure I like pink oyster mushrooms.
Guess it's time to find out, because you could save hundreds when you switch to Progressive and bundle. Then the world is your pink oyster mushroom. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Alex, hello. We've been trying to track you down. I don't know if you've noticed that. Do you have any idea why?
Something to do with the radio thing.
Every month we're doing a giveaway. GiveMeTheVin.com.
Giveaway? What you giving away, man?
$25,000.
Alex Jackson of Pensacola, Florida is the latest winner of Give Me the Vin's big cash giveaway.
Are you for real?
Every time that you sell a car to Give Me the Vin, you go into a drawing for that month. And dude, you won.
That's great, man. I'm having a baby boy in about 3 months. That's a lot of diapers, man.
Name him John Clay.
Okay.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Father's Day is Sunday, and if you haven't found a gift yet, don't panic. Just come to Macy's Father's Day sale for gifts that'll make Dad say, this is perfect. Shop designer polos from Lacoste and Tommy Hilfiger, 30 to 50% off. Watches from Citizen and Bulova, 30% off. Fragrance gift sets, boxed and ready to give. Even a 36-piece Cuisinart grill set, now half off. Hurry in. Father's Day is this Sunday, and this sale is happening now at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
June is Gun Violence Awareness Month. Violence prevention is injury prevention.
911, what's your emergency?
Keep guns locked, secure, and out of reach of children. Firearms are the leading cause of death for people under 20. Never leave a gun in your vehicle. Stolen firearms are often used in other crimes. In a moment of conflict, don't let a split decision become a lifetime of regret. Never celebrate with gunfire. It's dangerous and illegal. Prevent an injury, store guns safely. Learn more at sa.gov/health.
This is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Is this ABBA?
Morning Huddle 94.1. Vic bringing out some of his personal collection today.
Yeah. What's this? Rolando? Orlando?
Alejandro.
Yeah.
I've always liked this song.
They just like saying it.
Alejandro.
The Swedish supergroup ABBA.
Ah, yes.
Lady Goo Goo.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to Bobby. He was the Ricky Bobby. He was the UPS driver yesterday. Came to my house and dropped off a rug for my wife, and he said listens to the show every day. So
pleasure.
Nice.
Appreciate you listening, Bobby. That boy ain't right.
Yeah, did you say it like that?
I
Bobby?
said it.
That boy ain't right.
That's what I said. That's what I said. Okay. Tyrese Halliburton, if not for one moment of brilliance, we would be looking at Tyrese Halliburton as like a complete loser right now. We would be burying him. If he would not, let's say he clanks that game winner and they lose that game by 1 point, and you look at what he's done in these 2 games so far, and the Pacers are down 0-2, we're all sitting here going, this dude is nowhere near.
Well, I think we'd have thought he's exactly what we thought he was, or, not this superstar. But I will, in his defense, he's not the first dude that Oklahoma City's done this to.
Right.
I mean, in his defense, there's a lot of great basketball players. Ask Anthony Edwards what it's like that have been dismantled by this team. The Joker sitting at home watching, dismantled by a backup, by a second team guard, dismantled. So, yeah, we got room to question Halliburton's greatness, but there's other guys in line with him.
Okay. Remember the fourth quarter of game 1 when Halliburton said, I'm taking over. That's been their biggest boon of this series so far. The fact that in the first 3 quarters of game 2, he did nothing. Nothing. He had 7 shots in the first 3 quarters of game 2. 7.
Well, I mean,
he's got to be more aggressive. He's got to be the guy.
Well, no. I mean, this team is designed.
Or you know what? He's got to at least be. He's got to be one of the top 2 guys. Siakam's still going to be their leading scorer, but he's got to be.
He has to be a threat, and I say that a lot. But he has to draw, and he has to have gravity. Guys have to pay attention to him. And part of that is taking and making shots. But I'm not going to take away from the thing. But he did do that. He did make the shot. So the what ifs don't matter. He did make the shot.
He did.
So we carry on. That's all that was required of a great player, was be great when it mattered. And he did. So I think in the totality of this series, yes, those great shots have overshone a lot of just average play. But, he has made the shots, and now he's going home. I think we'll have every right to look at him and going, you're not that. You might not be underrated anymore, but you're certainly we're not going to allow you to become overrated either by these shots, because there is a totality of your game. You're at home now. You're the best player, the second best scorer on the team. Expectations are for you to lead this team. And if it's not with scoring, it better be other stuff.
Well, and you've got to I get it. Lou Dort's good, man. Lou Dort is going to make things hard on you.
And Wallace and everybody else, they're going to make it hard.
You still got to take your shots. You still got to find a way to get some shots up. And you also have to find a way to hold on to the ball. 5 turnovers in game 2, which tied his most for any game this season, regular season or playoffs.
Can't do that.
In the finals, you can't give this team extra possessions. They're already going to have them anyway.
And the fact that we'll continue to preach that, though, they can point to, we won with 19 turnovers in the first half. But the fact of the matter is they won because they had 3 turnovers in the last 20 minutes. That's why they won.
This is now 3 straight games where Tyrese Halliburton's turned the ball over at least 3 or more times. The longest streak he's had since March of 2024.
And, that's a testament to the defense.
His whole thing is he doesn't turn the ball over.
And that's a smart basketball player. He's risk averse. He's not going to make the brilliant pass because that leads to turnovers. But some guys, you don't want to do that. But
he's just careful. He's safe. And in this series, he hasn't been safe.
Well, again, I'm going to give most of that to Oklahoma City. This is a guy, like you just said, for the last year and a half, he doesn't do that. And that's against everybody else. Against a team with the best on-ball defense in 20 years. I don't think we fully will give them the credit that they're going to do, because they're not beating the Lakers and they're not shutting down Steph Curry. They're shutting down Nimhard and Naismith. The names don't seem to have as much weight, but the fact is they did it to Denver. They did it to Minnesota, and now they're doing it. Everybody, the way that they're playing the defense, now they're doing it to the Pacers. It's them. It's not the teams. You know what I mean? It's their defense that's doing this.
Here's my question. When you look at game 1 and game 2, like, which one feels
game 2
like the outlier here? Like, which series is more indicative of
they are never going
the series
Oklahoma
itself?
City, if they give up more than a 15-point lead at any point, I'll eat my hat. I mean, I'll tell you, this will not happen again. The lightning has struck. Oklahoma City will not. There'll be fouls. There'll be timeouts. I can assure you, a 15-point lead with 8 minutes to go, or whatever it is, will not ever happen again.
It will be safe.
That was it. They got garped. It happened. The plane hit the house. Go by the house. That'll never happen again. That lightning will not hit again. Now, there might be little comebacks early in games, but I'm talking about a 15-point closeout with a jumper to close it out. That ain't going to happen.
One thing I will say about game 2 is they let the Thunder play a little more physically in game 2 defensively. There weren't cheap whistles. It was felt like an NBA playoff game. In Indiana, how do you expect the officials to be?
You never know, man. I don't know who the officials are yet. I don't think it's been announced. There's always going to be a road ref. You know that.
Yep.
The road ref is always going to give you a little bit of a friendly night, because he knows you're going against the players and the fans. So I think that it depends on how far they're allowed to go. I think it's going to be tight. I think in the first half, the Pacers better make some hay. I think they're going to get called tight because they're playing at home. They're not going to let Halliburton get banged up, beat up, and when it's obvious, the whistle will be blown. And then, as is typical with the NBA, the foul calls will even out. So by the end of the game, it'll look equal. But the fact of the matter is, it'll be 2 entirely different halves. One in favor of the Pacers not being able to play that free-flowing game that the league loves. The second half will be more like playoff basketball. Go earn it. And Pacers better take advantage of the opportunities afforded them for playing at home. Make your free throws, take advantage, get to the rim, pick up the fouls early, because they're not going to get those whistles late. It's just, that's what the NBA is.
S.A. Birdman says Pacers will win the next 2. Refs and NBA want a long series.
Well, they've certainly got it by design, dude. I mean, just by playing every third day, we get a long one.
This thing's going to play into September, I think now.
I think that even if there was that notion, even just think about how much they would have to do when you take apart that one little run that with a jump shot that closed it down. If you take away that little run and just add up all the other quarters, you'd need the refs all game long.
And it would have to be embarrassing.
Yes, it would
frankly.
have to be obvious and evident that the whistles are going another way tonight. It's just not going to happen, man. It's just I think we will see tonight how truly great Oklahoma City is. I think we're going to see tonight the defense just go to town and blitzkrieg these guys. Calls be damned. We're deep. We'll bring in another dude.
All right, let's wrap up hour number 1 on the other side. Morning Huddle 94.1.
You know, Dr. Jacob Torres is my personal physician, has been for a couple years. I met him back in 2016. He was a doctor then, too, but I'll tell you, I met him on a weight loss journey. I was tired of feeling bad, tired of looking in the mirror and not liking what I saw. I didn't like how I felt all the time. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And when I sat down with him, I explained to him that I do not or did not have the kind of mental acuity and constraint to diet. I just didn't. I was a foodie. I was not going to stop. He told me, I work with a lot of people like you. Trust me on this. You will lose weight if you follow my direction, and he'll teach you how to do it. And he did. 8 years later, I'm still going to see Dr. Torres on the regular. I continue to lose weight. I'm healthier today than I was 8 years ago, for sure. As I sit and talk with you today, I'm 59 years old. I am not on statins. I am on no medications to keep up my health. That's all because of Dr. Torres and the plan that I've been on. I want that for you. If you want to lose weight and start feeling better, the best call you can make is the next one. It's 210-468-1891. His website is iffhealth.com. Call and talk with the doc. Let him explain to you why he's been so successful and when he does and when you started. Come on by and you can thank me later.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
You know, the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I was taking my side hustle full-time.
Bold move, my friend.
And I needed to find everything in one stop.
Like finding Bigfoot riding a unicorn.
Yes, so I hit the Staples Easy button. Staples had everything for a new office and print services for signs and brochures. Plus, Cindy, the Staples associate, helped me find the best tech for me.
Wait, no drama?
No, Staples made it easy.
For the products, services, and experts your business needs. Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District knows that life moves fast, and the last thing you want is to miss out due to an illness. Vaccines are safe and help your immune system fight off serious disease that can stop or change your plans. They protect you, the people you love, and can prevent you from getting sick. Let's get vaccinated, because when it comes to your health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. For more information, visit sa.gov/health.
Father's Day kicks off early, Saturday, June 14th at Lion and Rose Dominion, hosted by Marissa Gomez, realtor with Real Broker. If you know a dad who deserves some extra love, bring him out for family fun, live music, and delicious food and drinks. Enjoy free experiences like cigar rolling, mini spa treatments, and prize drawings. There's always something special happening at Lion and Rose. It's Saturday, June 14th from 3 to 7 p.m. for the Father's Day kickoff at Lion and Rose, just off I-10 West past the Dominion exit.
Have you been thinking about starting TRT? The time is now. You can visit any Synergenics or Low T center and get your consultation and test free. Don't let Low T slow you down this summer. Get the energy you need at Low T Center and Synergenics. Offer limited. Book now at fixmylowt.com.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s. Our AC is bogus.
Call Right Home Services.
At Right Home Services, we love the 80s, just not on your thermostat. Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. The right AC services, the right team, and the right price. 210-444.
The right stuff. Now we can chill, Mom.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It's like a stranger.
One of the dumbest lyrics of all time.
Ah, Vic's in
It's
there
like
just
a
jamming
rainbow
out.
in the dark.
Reminds me of St. Gerard. Everyone was, when this came out, they were gloating. Look what cassette I got.
Oh, I had this one. I can see the cover.
Yeah.
Vic gets in there and starts jamming, man.
Like a rainbow in the dark.
Give me some drumsticks.
Starts jamming. The shadows of the night.
You know, a Spinal Tap. The new Spinal Tap comes out in August.
A new one?
Yeah, the whole band got back together.
What?
Yeah,
They
Michael
pulled- they
McKeon
pulled-
and
they
all
pulled
those
the
dudes,
Blues
they
Brothers?
made a second Spinal Tap. I don't know if it's a remake or a sequel, but Spinal Tap is back. Whenever I hear
Really?
Dio or a little bit of Led Zeppelin in there, any of those 70s anthem rock bands, I always think back to Spinal Tap.
Yeah. Rarely when I hear
One
Led Zeppelin
louder.
do I think of Spinal Tap.
Well, it's a parody. It's the parody of the.
The NXS band all over.
Oh,
again.
well, no, not quite.
Oh.
No one can do Spinal Tap and another band. It's impossible.
One of the things that and this is, people complain about the Thunder getting calls and the Pacers not getting calls. Oklahoma City in the regular season, 26th in opponent free throw rate and 29th in free throw differential. They've attempted more free throws than the Pacers in both finals games so far. So Indiana's got to find ways to get, I think, points at the line. They've got to attack the basket, which is something they've been uncomfortable doing.
Yeah, but you have to have lanes to do that. I mean, it's easy to say, but if you're playing a man defender like Case and Wallace or Caruso,
what about Siakam's not seeing those guys?
No, but he's not a drive and draw dude. Now he needs to draw fouls at that 18-foot. His game is 12 to 18 feet away. His game is pulling a big out, pulling the power forward out, pulling somebody away from the rim and hitting those jump shots. He's not a foul getter. The foul getters on that team are like Naismith and Halliburton and Nembhard, the dudes that put the ball in the hand and get into the rim with momentum.
Yeah.
Pascal is a fadeaway. He's fading out of the paint when he's in there. His job is to make the shot, not get the foul. The guys like Halliburton have to turn the corner. They've got to split that man. Watch the way Shai Gilgeous splits the double team before it even gets there. You got to see it before it happens. And that's the difference between being a good player and a great player and a great player and a superstar. And Halliburton, while he's hit the big shots to put him in the superstar conversation, does not do superstar things on the regular. He doesn't split the double team. He doesn't man himself into the paint. He doesn't hold on to his dribble to that last second before he has to make a decision. He doesn't make a daring pass. He makes the safe play, which is great 99% of the time. But to be a winner, a superstar, that 1% is the separator. It's to make the thing happen that nobody else thought you could make happen. He's going to have to do that tonight or it's over, man. They have to approach this like game 7. We lose tonight, all momentum is lost.
I also think that the Thunder probably figured something out with Hartenstein in the lineup. They like going. I think they're going to see a lot more of the two bigs this game than, obviously there was none of it in game 1. I think we're going to see quite a bit of it tonight because it worked in game 2. Isaiah Hartenstein kind of like, people talk all the time about stuff that doesn't show up in the box score.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the best screen setting bigs I think you'll find. And Jalen Williams, who couldn't get a freaking shot off, then you get Hartenstein out there doing some pick and roll stuff for him and getting him some clean looks, and suddenly Jalen Williams got involved again. And I also think that having those two bigs on the floor means that they're going to get some easier looks inside, and that was a big difference between game 1 and 2. They shot 41% from 2 in game 1, 56.5% in game 2 from 2-point range.
For the double bigs to work, Hartenstein is going to end up having to guard Miles Turner. And Miles has kind of eaten him up out there. So pay attention to how Hartenstein goes, because this could be one of the chinks in the armor. Because if I could get at him and I can get Turner to put the ball on the ground, I want you to take the threes when they're open. He's hit a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can get some fouls on him, one that gets the fouls on your side and that gets you shooting free throws, stopping the clock, and all the stuff that you want to have happen. And 2, it takes that double big out. That does kill you a little bit. That does allow you a little bit more space. If the fouls don't come, Turner doesn't hit shots, and Hartenstein's allowed to play defense 15 feet away from the rim, all is lost, man. That's one of those things you have to take advantage of, because that is one of the things that is a little bit of a weakness. He doesn't defend very well away from the ball, considering he's not huge.
But Turner, 1 of 5 from 3 in game 2. He's got to make it hurt.
Yeah, and if he doesn't,
he didn't.
And he hadn't.
All right, we got plenty more to talk about. Some maybe some bad news for San Antonio. We'll talk about why coming up next. Morning Huddle 94.1.
This is the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Progressive understands that bond between you and your boat. But imagine if something happened to it. Without the boat, you're just Tina with too much boat knowledge. Sure, it's helpful on the water, but with no boat, you're someone who talks way too much about knots, and no one cares what a jib is anyway. Boat Tina could get away with it because she has a boat. So make sure your boat is insured. Get Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer, and then go back to being you, Tina, who owns a boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-550-8841. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-550-8841. That's 800-550-8841. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
George gets justice. It's you versus them. The driver who changed your life. The insurance company dodging your calls. They want to give you up. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, they take on insurance giants and they fight to win. No upfront costs, no games. Just the fight for results. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Hey, bills happen. So when you need extra cash fast, go to billshappen.com. Have you been turned down? Are your credit cards maxed out? Do you have bad credit? Go to billshappen.com. All you need is a job and a checking account. You can find a lender and get up to $5,000 cash as early as tomorrow at billshappen.com. BillsHappen.com is the smart way to get a personal lender now. So if you need extra money for car repairs, medical bills, family emergencies, whatever you need cash for, go to BillsHappen.com and you can get the money you need as soon as the next day, up to $5,000. At BillsHappen.com, our process is safe, secure, and all online. No one to deal with in person. And Bills Happen does not charge you any fees to use our service. It's easy. When you need a lender, just remember, when bills happen, go to BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com for the cash you need now. BillsHappen.com.
Hi, everybody. Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas. I absolutely love the Golf Club of Texas. They've made so many improvements to the golf course, from brand new cart paths to resodding the greens and fairways. You might think it's a private club, but it's not. It's open to the public 7 days a week. Best rates are always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, you know where it is, right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
You've decided to divorce. I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you're worried about getting the bills paid, childcare, and your divorce, we'll help make it simple, painless, and affordable.
Your future matters. Call the law office of Steve Benke.
Call 210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like we've got a stalled 18-wheeler on I-10 east side of town. It's going to be eastbound right as you approach FM 1518. It's taking up a right lane. It's about a 15, 17-minute delay that has you stop and go from 1604. On 1604 westbound from I-10 to 281 north side of town right now, that's about a 20-minute ride. On 35 northbound from 410 to 1604, 5-6 minutes and 5-7 minutes. I-10 eastbound Loop 410 on over to 1604. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
At long last, the NBA Finals resume tonight. They're shifting their focus to Indiana. Game 3 tonight. You can catch live right here. In the NFL, the mandatory minicaps are well under the way. And in Dallas, Micah Parsons arrived on time, on target. While he showed up for work, Steelers pass rusher T.J. Watt and Bengals Trey Henderson stayed home. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hump day. Morning Huddle 94.1. Good morning, everybody.
We got stuff to give away.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got some Fandango codes. We got some Cedar tickets. And, of course, we got Louis the Singer again. Oh, yes, Louis.
Elio and Louis.
Getting ready for his big show here in San Antonio.
You know, he's a country singer.
Yes, I'm aware. Brian, if the Spurs trade Fox, would that be similar to Oklahoma City trading Paul George away for all those picks? Spurs can still wheel and deal those picks and get the players they want and fit.
First of all, we got to sign him.
The Spurs aren't trading De'Aaron Fox.
No, but I mean, first and foremost, on August the 3rd, when we offer him this Supermax deal, which he's going to get, we're going to have to sign him first before anything will happen. So, but it's not going to happen.
De'Aaron Fox is like maybe the first person in history who said, you know where I really want to play? San Antonio. Trade me to the Spurs.
That you might be exactly right. The only dude to ever request a trade, other than Sean Elliott, who was trying to get home.
Right.
But other than that, yeah.
And the Kings were like, San Antonio, Texas? And De'Aaron Fox was like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of, my wife's from there. I don't know. Don't ask.
I want to go there. And they said, all right, dude. And they gave the Spurs a good deal.
We hoodwinked them.
If the Spurs turned around and traded him away, no one ever would say again, I want to be traded to San Antonio.
No,
you can't do that to a guy who like wanted to be with you. You wanted him. Like,
and why? Why would you do that? We have draft.
He's the best player on the team.
Well, as we said, yeah. But above and beyond that, I mean, you say trade him for draft picks. We have draft picks. We have a 2 and a 14 now. We got a 5 number ones in the next 5-6 years. There's no need to go get more. We got plenty. So
you already did the Paul George thing when you traded away Derek White and all those dudes. Like those.
He is the product of the Paul George thing.
Yeah.
We did that for this. So I right now it's free and easy and we can play all these what ifs, but there are only certain things that are truly possible. And this isn't one of them. So I refuse to entertain it. No, that's not going to be in the cards. It's not being discussed. All that's being discussed is how that check is going to look when he signs it. You know,
Eric said, well, he's not better than Wemby. Today he is.
He is better than Wemby. There's no crime in saying that.
The upside is obviously much better for Wemby, but today De'Aaron Fox is a very, very good player right now.
He's an all-star. Wemby's not. So
No, they're not trading De'Aaron Fox. They're happy with De'Aaron Fox.
If anybody wants to ask, I'd be willing to listen. But there's nothing that would. Why would anybody trade for a super max point guard that you'd be locked into for 5 years if you didn't already have pieces and parts? And if you already had pieces and parts, like Sacramento did, why would you do anything other than get rid of it?
Brian says does not play defense, had Sabonis and didn't go far.
Oh, settle down.
That Kings team went about as far as they could go. I don't know what to tell you, man. How about we know September 13th, the UFC, we talked about the UFC Noche coming here to San Antonio. They got a little bit of bad news with that yesterday because it was announced that
that's the Canelo. No, that's not the Canelo stuff.
It is.
Yeah, the Canelo stuff. Yeah.
Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford are going to be fighting in Vegas. Dana White has been asked by the Turkey Al Sheikh, the
Abu Dhabians.
His Excellency has asked Dana White to promote it. And what that means is the UFC event on the same day that Dana White's being asked to promote Canelo versus Terrence Crawford for His Excellency, the Sheik. Okay. We're not going to get a great show here in San Antonio, unfortunately, for that UFC Noche.
Well, to be honest,
I thought it was going to be awesome.
Nobody would be paying attention if Canelo was fighting. Honestly, people would stay home, especially Crawford. People would be staying home anyway, dude.
It's such a great fight, and I'm like, I want to be excited for it, but
dude, I think we're going to be there.
We probably will be. But yeah, I was super pumped for the UFC being in San Antonio for this Noche thing. And they said, well, now that it's not in Guadalajara, we're going to make it not a pay-per-view. And I went, that's not good.
And then, honestly, AJ, why waste good fights when nobody's going to pay attention? I mean, let's be realistic. You're going up against, especially in San Antonio. Now, if this fight was scheduled to go off in Wichita, or Kansas City, yeah, I think it'd still go. Not a lot of people are going to be looking at Canelo, but we're kind of in the rich heritage zone. I think we're going to be paying a little bit of attention, especially given the political climate. I think it's going to be a pretty big deal, and I think Dana White realizes that.
So disappointing. I was hoping that we would get a big card here, but it looks like now, because Canelo and Terrence Crawford's announced undisputed super middleweight title September 13th. I mean, this is honestly one of the biggest fights that can be made, if not currently the biggest fight that can be made, quite frankly, and could be one of the biggest fights in history. So that's exciting if you're a fight fan.
Yes,
it's just a bummer that it's on the same day that
I think Dana's a businessman first, and he realizes as big as UFC has gotten, it will never be as big as this fight on the 13th. It's just when you got Canelo Crawford on DAC6 and all the other stuff that's going on that's difficult, it's going to be bananas.
Yeah. So September 13th, that'll be on. Now that's the other thing. It's going to be on Netflix.
What's
we
wrong with
all remember.
Oh, we couldn't get in. That's right.
Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Remember, it was like
fiasco.
Yeah.
Oh, it was garbage.
Luckily, I didn't care about that.
Yeah, the pinwheel of death.
Now they've got some.
That's right, the pinwheel.
Yeah, they got some time to figure it out, but man,
have to buy some more servers, man.
Yeah, they got to get that thing figured out. But because I'll be now hopefully we are there. But if we're not, and I'm sitting here at home, I'm going to be pissed if I can't watch that thing. But yeah, they call it Zuffa Boxing, and that Zuffa is the company that owns the UFC. So this is their first dip into boxing promotion, and it happens to be one of the biggest fights in the world. So
it took Sheik money to guarantee it.
Yes, yeah. It said,
you need $100 million just to
let's throw some numbers that Canelo and Crawford can't say no. And Floyd Mayweather's sitting somewhere at home like,
how old am I?
I could fight.
Yeah, I think Pacquiao will fight me.
I'll do it.
One more.
I got it.
Pacquiao come out and fight me after his next fight.
I got this. But yeah, so it's it's an exciting time. None of the details have been out yet about the money, but I'm once we get it, it's going to be
$50 million each, easy.
Oh, I think easy. So, yeah, I'm ready for this one, but that's it. It did kind of take a bite out of San Antonio, unfortunately, but we'll survive. We'll survive in advance here.
Maybe he owes us one. Dana owe us one.
That'd be nice.
Come back around the corner.
That'd be nice. Yeah, like maybe when he says, "Hey, when Project Marvel's done, we'll get you a big time show there."
Well, they'll be not. Well, then we could be discerning.
That's right. We'll say,
now
"Hey,
we have to beg."
Yeah. But is what it is. We have seen now, and it's up on the ESPN right now. Is it looks like Giannis has realized maybe that no one's offering what the Bucks are asking for him, or like the Bucks are just being obnoxiously obstinate about it.
All they could do is point at Mikal Bridges. I mean, look what Mikal went for 5 number one, so I'm not going to ask for anything less than that.
Yeah,
sorry.
But again, is that a Deshaun Watson type situation where no one's ever going to do that again because
Probably
it was so
not.
dumb?
Probably not.
So, but it does look like Giannis is going to end up staying put, especially now that the draft's coming, or the draft lottery's come and gone. Which means now the big targets become guys like Kevin Durant.
Well, he is the target. I mean, there's not another franchise changer out there being dangled. There's some really strong pieces and parts like Cam and Lowry marketing, but there's no franchise changing move.
But the downside of that is once Giannis is off the table,
the asking price goes up.
The whole time KD and Markkanen have been bargain shelf Giannis. Well, if Giannis isn't in the store, now those guys can go up a notch.
Yeah.
And so maybe the asking price gets a little
Markkanen
higher.
goes up. I think that Phoenix is kind of screwed. There's kind of hemmed into a corner. There's not a whole lot they can do other than what exactly Durant wants.
Yeah, they are trying to get out of it too. And they're in a really, really unenviable spot because they have one guy that they really want to keep, the young guy that they're trying to build around.
Booker.
They have one guy that they'd like to keep, but they understand he's old and he's probably on the decline. And then they have the guy that they don't want, but
no
one wants. And like, you can't trick anybody into taking him even. Like no one's even going to be fooled into taking Bradley Beal.
And somebody they're gonna have to jump on a hand grenade. Somebody's gonna have to blow up. I mean, this isn't gonna end well. Somebody's gonna have to eat a massive amount of money for one dude and take a lot less for another.
Yep.
To get out from underneath this, because they're gonna have to pay Booker. Booker's gonna get that Supermax deal immediately, and we're talking $60 million.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't want to have him surrounded with old guys and washed up nobodies
that are eating $35 million off the top as well. They're just going to have to eat it up and go. So I think that the deal for Durant probably doesn't have as much sway as Giannis, because Durant's going to get out. They're just going to have to eat it, kind of like we saw with Russell Wilson with Denver. We're just going to have to get out from underneath this, and it's going to cost us, and we'll just have to survive. And that makes it the deal more like, where does Durant want to go, and let's find the best deal we can get out of that.
Yeah, and that's probably what they're going to end up doing.
Which
is
tells
kind
me
of
Houston. It really feels like Houston's got the most.
They've got the best to offer. I agree with that. They do have the best opportunity, or the best haul to give. Mm-hmm. Are they willing to give it though? I don't know. I mean, do they even want it?
Well, let's think about what has happened in the last 24 hours. The Knicks called Houston, asked to interview Udoka, and then Houston said no. So Ime now knows they're committed to me. He could go ask for an extension right now and probably go get it. So whatever Ime wants, Ime's just about to get. And if he wants Durant, they're going to get him.
Yep. All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, I'm going to give away some tickets. I'll give away some tickets to Louis the Singer. Hey, coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we've got a couple of guests. We've got Will Doctor on. He's going to talk the U.S. Open as that gets underway tomorrow from out there in Pittsburgh. And at 8:30, of course, we'll have Dr. Jason Garrett on. We'll talk some of the injuries going on in the world, and we got plenty of football to talk. We got a lot to discuss. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
June is Gun Violence Awareness Month. Violence prevention is injury prevention.
911, what's your emergency?
Keep guns locked, secure, and out of reach of children. Firearms are the leading cause of death for people under 20. Never leave a gun in your vehicle. Stolen firearms are often used in other crimes. In a moment of conflict, don't let a split decision become a lifetime of regret. Never celebrate with gunfire. It's dangerous and illegal. Prevent an injury, store guns safely. Learn more at sa.gov/health.
Most of us go to the doctor when we're sick or need prescriptions refilled. But at the Institute for Functional Health, we offer a different and complete version of primary care. This means you will get the medications you need, but we will also put together a custom game plan to fix the root cause and allow your body to heal itself. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we help people get off of medications. Call me for a free consultation, 468-1891, or online at iffhealth.com. You will experience a doctor's visit unlike any you've ever had. 468-1891.
Progressive understands that bond between you and your boat. But imagine if something happened to it. Without the boat, you're just Tina with too much boat knowledge. Sure, it's helpful on the water, but with no boat, you're someone who talks way too much about knots, and no one cares what a jib is anyway. Boat Tina could get away with it because she has a boat. So make sure your boat is insured. Get Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer, and then go back to being you, Tina, who owns a boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007. School's out, summer's in, and that vacation countdown is officially on. But what about your four-legged MVP? Bluebonnet Pumpkin Biscuit in Selma has your furry family member covered. Daycare, boarding, grooming, and training, they've got it all. They're built for your pet's health, happiness, and tail-wagging good times. If you're in the military, your teacher, or your first responder, they've got barking good exclusive discounts. So go ahead, book that trip, hit the beach, crush your summer plans. Bluebonnet Pumpkin Biscuit has your pet in good hands. Because home away from home isn't just for humans. Bluebonnet Pumpkin Biscuits in Selma.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s. Our AC is bogus.
Call Right Home Services.
At Right Home Services, we love the 80s, just not on your thermostat. Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. The right AC services, the right team, and the right price. 210-444.
The right stuff. Now we can chill, Mom.
Transform your water with Connecticut. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with a trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. The offer ends soon. Call Connecticut today.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
For my thugs, I don't want to be a player no more. I just crush a lot. Little brown hairs everywhere. Vic don't care. Huh? See you later. I'm gone. Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Let's do some Louis the Singer tickets. One for the hometown tour. It's going to be September 20th at the Aztec Theater. We got a couple tickets for you. Caller number 2, you got some tickets to go see Louis the Singer. One for the hometown. Hometown boys.
Homies.
That's right. That's right. Hey, we are now, today is Wednesday, June 11th. That means we are 2 weeks exactly from the draft, from the NBA draft. From day one of the NBA draft, because much like the NBA is wont to do, they're now extending things longer than they need to be extended, and suddenly 2 rounds takes 2 days. Like, what are you doing? Just
we have to see the prospects home. We have to see the fit. We got to remember they take pictures with hats and jerseys. Now we got things to do.
ESPN did a player comps for all 14 projected lottery picks, the high end and the low end. And I'd
hate to be the dude that's the low end. Like, hey man, why am I low end?
Well, I mean, it's all relative, right?
I guess.
I don't know. But they went through the mock draft and they said, okay, this is what we think this guy can be at his best. This is what he would be at his worst, I guess. Cooper Flagg, mock draft projection, number 1 to the Mavericks. High end Jason Tatum with more defense. Does that feel fair to you?
Keeping in mind that Cooper's 7 feet tall and Tatum's probably about 6'10". Yeah, I think that the comparisons aren't that far apart.
Low end, Andre Iguodala with more offense.
Even that
wouldn't be a bad thing.
But it's not what we expect.
If that's the worst, you're in pretty good shape.
So that kind of shows you what everybody
There's not
believes.
much downside to him. Dylan Harper, high end, Jalen Brunson, but bigger.
All right.
I think better.
I don't even see any remote comparison.
It's just hard for me to because they are so different looking.
The only comparison is they're both shot makers, not shooters. And I guess that would be why you'd compare the two.
But I think Harper's so much better defensively than Brunson can even potentially be.
So I don't get the comparison other than the effusive offense that just comes off of just being able to get buckets.
Low end D'Angelo Russell.
Oh, yeah, probably. There's been a lot of dudes that look like
also a number 2 pick, by the way.
Yeah, and a 6'9", 6'10" lefty with fluid movement that's not a shooter but a bucket getter. There's been a lot of dudes that haven't panned out. I'm not going to lie. I mean, he's gonna have to improve his shot taking ability. He's gonna have to become a better shooter, and that's always been the separator from these guys because the offense has always come so easy. They've always been able to get scores, and now dollar values are going to double. So can he progress by that? I guess that's an apt comparison. That's not one I would have chosen. I would have said something more like,
to me, Cade Cunningham is the guy that jumps off the page.
Well, that would be the high end side.
Yeah.
I think it would be more to that than Brunson, who is just kind of a scorer.
Number 3 projected to the Sixers, Ace Bailey. The high end is the name that I've called him all along, Michael Porter Jr.
That's the hope.
Yes.
Well, I mean, keep in mind when Michael's healthy, he's a great shooter. He's a difference maker.
He is. Low end Andrew Wiggins.
Well, even that's not horrible, but yeah. When you think Andrew Wiggins, you think unfulfilled promise, and if he is low end, it will be unfulfilled promise.
Number 4 to the Hornets, VJ Edgecombe from Baylor. High end Victor Oladipo. Low end Jaden Ivey.
Well, that's unfair to Ivy. The dude been hurt. I mean, doesn't he have a bad ankle? But I feel he's a bit more.
Well, it says
physical.
the Ivy comparison's a little tricky because he's still developing.
Yeah.
But he's a slashing guards in the mold who have to learn to make good decisions with the ball, often take time to find success.
Yep. And I would say guys like he's a much better offensive player than Scoot Henderson, but physically they're about the same. And we saw it took a year for Scoot.
Number 5 to the Jazz, Oklahoma point guard Jeremiah Fears. High end Monte Ellis, low end Jared Bayless.
Oh, that's about right.
That feels right to me too. Monte Ellis is a good comp, actually. Something a guy I hadn't thought of in a while. But just kind of a small guy who his biggest issue is turning the ball over a little much.
But go get 40 at a drop of a dime.
Yeah,
I guess it could go get it.
Number 6. Now, boy, these are some very generous comps. Like the low end comp, very generous more than anything. Trey Johnson from Texas, number 6 to the Wizards. High end Michael Redd.
I thought Redd, but I remember Redd being a bit bigger.
Low end Cam Thomas, but taller. It's a pretty Cam Thomas would be a nice comp, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, I don't pick. That's two very different types of dudes.
Yeah, well, yeah. Anytime they say, it's like him, but way bigger. Like that's always tough for me to get to my mind.
I see Edgecombe in the Donovan Mitchell vein more than anything else. A guy that can just explode to the rim. That's going to have to.
No, we're talking about Trey Johnson here, though.
Yeah. Trey is much smaller than. I put him more in the mold of Fears than those dudes. He's more like that. He's a go get a bucket off the dribble.
Well, I think he's also a lot better shooter than most of those other guys.
Yeah, I think the comparisons are close.
7, come on Malawatch to the Pelicans. High end Rudy Gobert, but quicker. Low end Daniel Gafford, but bigger.
I'll take either one of those.
I would take either one of those as well. And that actually sounds about right. Number 8, this is a really good comp for Con Kneipel. Number 8 to the Nets. Desmond Bain on the high end. That feels like a very comparable player. Joe Harris on the low end.
Well, he's probably 4 inches taller than Bain. I mean, he's lot bigger tthan Bain. Yeah, Bain's only about 6'4", 6'3".
Okay.
I mean, strength-wise, it's the same, but it'll be a lot easier for Kneipel to hold on to his dribble. I mean, he's just that much bigger.
Just be a 3-and-D type dude. And
the worry for Kneipel is defense. Is he going to be quick enough to defend for 4 or 5 seconds? We'll see.
Number 9, Colin Murray Boyles from South Carolina to the Raptors. High end Al Horford.
That's very much appropriate.
Low end Xavier Tillman. It's a pretty low end.
He's no Xavier Tillman.
Number 10, Kasparis Yakashonis, the Illinois point guard to the Rockets. High end Austin Reeves. Low end Delon Wright.
DeLon Wright, really? Okay,
Yeah.
Either one. I'll take either one of
DeLon
those.
Wright feels, I don't know.
DeLon was a baller for 6-7 years, man. He's a starter. He
Was he?
two-way player. Yeah.
I've always thought of him as like a reserve
Well,
type guy. But
kind of. But keep in mind where he's getting drafted. If you're going to draft a 6-8 year dude at 6, 7, 8, that's a success.
11, Igor Demin to the Trailblazers. High end Josh Giddey. Low end Kyle Anderson.
Take either one.
12, Derek Queen to Maryland, from Maryland to the Bulls. High end Alperen Şengün.
He's not nearly physical.
Low end Sandro Mamukelashvili.
Well, same conference. Well, I mean, offensively, Sandro's a bucket.
Yeah.
I mean, he was at Seton Hall. And I think Queen is physically limited, but he is a really intelligent basketball player. He makes up for his lack of physical ability by just being a really smart dude. I think he could be one of those diamonds that turns out to be a lot better than his draft position.
Number 13, Johan Berenger from Slovenia. They're projecting him to the Hawks. High-end Clint Capella, low-end Jackson Hayes.
Either one, man.
Jackson Hayes was like a top 10 pick.
Jump
just
out of
has
the
never
well, I mean,
been able to become a starter.
He does what needs to be. High pick and roll dude that flies. Yeah, I'll take that.
Number 14, Carter Bryant to the Spurs from Arizona. High-end Trey Murphy III, low-end Royce O'Neal.
Well, see that when you hear the comparisons, that tells me this guy's not very athletic. If you're comparing him to Royce was a brilliant shot maker and a smart dude, but athleticism was not his forte.
Right, but he could hit some shots.
Yeah, he was a shooter.
I mean,
I don't see that. I've seen the name with the Spurs kind of back and forth. I don't see that draft pick happening.
Okay, and they do a bonus, number 15 to the Thunder, Noah Esengwe, the from Germany. High end Pascal Siakam, low end Jared Vanderbilt. I don't know much about him, so I can't say much about it.
Vanderbilt is a low end Siakam.
I mean, yeah.
So I get the comparison, but I'm
if
not
he's
sure
somewhere in
falls into
between
that,
those
yeah.
two, I but again, if he goes to the Thunder, that could be a nightmare for
I see
everyone
if the
else.
Spurs are sitting there. If Asa Newell's still sitting on the board, I can't imagine they pass him.
You think so?
I really, if he's
I know your
sitting
son
there-
loves this Carter Bryant.
Yeah, Carter's an athlete. I mean, he's I shouldn't say athlete. Carter is a basketball player. He's probably not very tough. He's very much an Arizona wing basketball player. Can do all the right things. Is he tough enough to make it through the league? Matherin has proven he is, but a lot of dudes that have played that position coming out of Arizona have not been.
Yeah, and he's a 3-and-D guy, good size. I mean, I like some of the things about him. I always thought it was weird that he wasn't a starter last year, and now we're looking at him as a lottery pick.
I kind of question some things about his game. I'm not going to take anything away because I think he's a supreme basketball player, but there's some toughness issues that I think we need to be addressed.
All right. The NBA Finals, as we take one more step towards, I think, the coronation, I think we're getting close to it. I'm not sure. I still think 5 is the most likely, but for whatever reason, that game 1 really did make me go, maybe I need to give a little more credit to the Pacers. And I've tried. I just can't force myself to think that they can actually win this series or really even make it that competitive, just because it's such a surprise that they're even here. Like, this is, we talked about it before the series, like preseason odds, pre-playoff odds. The Pacers break all the molds of teams that have made it this far. Like, it
was a surprise, but when you really dig into it, it shouldn't have been. I mean, they were one of the top 3 teams in the second half of the season. They blew through playoffs. Injuries be damned. They were roping teams and doing things that Oklahoma City was doing in the West. They were doing in the East. Now, they might have been doing against lessers, but they were demolished. They demolished Miami. They played great basketball against 2 other teams. It shouldn't be a surprise, but if they don't win tonight, dude, it's 5. If it doesn't happen tonight, it's 5, and if it does happen, they get 1. It's 6.
It said, I read an article that said that the Pacers may have been a victim of their own success because the win against the Cavaliers, it almost happened too quickly. Like, it almost they didn't have to, like, it almost felt like the Cavs blew it. You know, we didn't have enough time to make it feel like the Pacers really went out there.
It was such a shock. I'll give them that, but I'll tell you what, I'd rather beat a good team fast than have to sweat through it. But I will agree that there are lessons learned in those things, and I think that Oklahoma City is better for going 7 games against Denver than
I think so too.
Than Indiana was for going 5 against Cleveland.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that there were some steps that were probably leapfrogged that Oklahoma City had to go through that maybe Indiana could have learned from. But dude, I'd rather take care of that team fast and look forward than have to deal with them for 7.
And of the teams that had upsets in the first 2 rounds, the Pacers joined the 2023 Heat as the only teams since 2000 that turned that into a finals trip. Got upsets in round 1 and 2, ended up in the finals. It's a rare thing. And in a way they lucked out because they didn't have to play Boston.
Oh yeah, they lucked out. Absolutely. But they beat Cleveland, and we thought they were the numbers that Cleveland was putting up during the regular season. If you did the things that Cleveland did during the season, you were automatically a champion. You just won because of that. That's how dominant they were. And the way that they just dispatched them, there was a little bit of, oh my gosh, what just happened kind of stuff. But I don't think they're any worse for it. I think that there's some stuff that they just didn't learn.
I just think, and I talked to you about it yesterday. I don't know if we did this on the air or off the air, talking about the line in the game tonight, which is now down to Thunder -5.
See, that's about what I thought would happen. Then Indiana would show up late because, this is last gasp. If it doesn't happen tonight, man, there's no more money coming your direction.
But we talked about the Nuggets, and when the Thunder were in Denver, the Thunder were 6.5-point favorites. And there's not a person in the world going into the playoffs who would have said the Pacers are better than the Nuggets. Like, no one thought that.
No. And I still wouldn't say that now.
And now suddenly the Pacers are getting 1.5 points more love than the Nuggets did. It just doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, that's fandom.
I think
betting.
It's a lot of hope. Like,
yeah, that's fandom betting. That's not money crunchers. This is fans laying this down.
Although I don't know, man. Like, anytime you get into this point, like, the money that's being passed around on these finals games, it's hard for dudes making $20 bets to really move the needle. Like, there's guys making $50,000 bets on these games that aren't letting their fandom get in the way of these things.
It's hope. Nobody who looks at what the Oklahoma City has done and just by the numbers goes and plays Indiana in 5. And you just the history tells us that's not how it works. That's not how Oklahoma City plays. They beat you, and they beat you well. It's never close.
Claymore says, can you stop saying Pacers lucked out that they didn't face the Celtics? No, I won't stop saying that. I mean, that's, sometimes the path opens up for you, and it's not the Pacers' fault, but if the Pacers would have, it would have been a more difficult road for the Pacers had they had to play the Celtics.
You mean the returning champions?
Yeah.
Those guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been more difficult.
It would have been tougher. Like, and to act like it's not, and he says the Celtics weren't good enough. They weren't, but
they were still the champion.
It would have been a tougher road to hoe.
And let's
for
not
Indiana
forget
than
what
the Knicks
Boston did that team shot the lights out this year. Look at their numbers.
Yep.
This was a very, very good but not great basketball team.
All right, let's hit a break. We'll come back and we will wrap up our number 2 of the Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit is the home for my dogs. If you're planning a getaway, there's no better place that's more reliable, that's more loving, that takes care of the animals the way that you take care of your animals than Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit. Hey, Father's Day, dads. All dads that need a couple of days away, Bluebonnet's there ready to take care of you. Let Bunkin' Biscuit take care of your baby over the weekend. Those quick little summer getaways should not ever be hesitated on. Go have your fun knowing full well your kiddos will be taken care of at Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit. They're easy to get to. They're right off 35, right there in Selma, right off the highway. A beautiful place. Go check it out before you take your babies. You'll see and be happy to drop them off in a loving, caring environment. You're looking for training. You're looking for daycare. You're looking for anything that your pets need. You can get it at Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit. And let me tell you, there's no bigger decision than taking care of your dogs or your cats like that. They've got everything you're chasing. So when holidays are coming up, never let that be concerned. Reliable, caring, loving pet care can be found at Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit. Take your babies there, and I know you're going to come by and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Your commute definitely starting to slow down now. We are getting reports of an 18-wheeler accident on I-10 eastbound as you approach FM 1518. This is the far east side of town. It's blocking the right lane. A 25-minute delay has you stop and go from 1604. North side of town, Wurzbach as you approach Babcock. Getting reports of a wreck. 410 northbound Rigsby up to WW White. That's starting to fill in and slow down. And also sluggish 35 southbound Schwab Road on down to Pat Booker Road. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone, come back. It's my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life, come back.
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney and have been representing people injured in auto and commercial truck collisions right here in San Antonio, my hometown, since 1994. Getting into a collision can be a life-altering event. Your health and recovery is the only thing that really matters, and anyone that's ever been injured in a traffic collision will tell you that. How do you get the insurance company to pay? Simple. Call me. As your attorney, my job is to get you through this. The decisions you make immediately after a collision are the most important decisions you can make. If you call me as soon as you can after a collision, I will help you make the right decisions for you and your family. Remember, I do not charge for a consultation. Growing up on the southwest side of San Antonio, when Loop 410 was the edge of town, I know how overwhelming it could be to face a giant insurance company all on your own. Just keep it simple. Call me. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. or go to my website at lawyerforus.com.
Teams are battling for the championship, and there's no better place to get in on the intensity than ESPN Bet. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ, that's JOEQ, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, we have a big guest, and I mean a really big guest.
Yeah, Cowboys offensive lineman Tyler Guyton will join us around 2:45-ish after practice.
And we're finally going to get to see some finals basketball again. Game 3 tonight, we'll have a preview.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jason Minix, and you're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Oh, once upon a midnight dreary, I walked with something in my hand.
Is there a song you don't know?
Yeah, there's some. You play some that I don't know.
Eraser.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to see if this dude's lost weight.
I could not believe my eyes.
Well, a little thinner.
Humor me and tell me lies, Rob.
That's what I tell my wife.
Yeah.
What a song. What a song. What a band, Blues Traveler.
They made the harmonica cool.
Did they?
Yep. Again, I guess.
Why you want to give me the run around? Yeah, it's a surefire way to speed things up when all it does is slow me down. They want Rob to sing, they're saying.
Yeah.
I'm a talk singer.
Oh, come on. Well, do it, man.
Well, I have to have a talk singer song.
This is a talk singer song.
It kind of is.
Nobody thinks or expects too much. Hollywood's calling for the movie rights, singing, hey, babe, let's keep in touch. Hey, baby, let's keep in touch. Come on, baby. Morning Huddle 94.1. Get me hyped up here, Vic.
That's right.
Get me hyped up.
That's right.
They
come back.
Oh, yes.
Just when you think it's going down, it comes back out. There.
Ren says play The Devil Went Down to Georgia so Rob can sing. That's kind of he's jamming that.
Charlie Daniels.
He was looking for a soul to steal.
Yeah. I'd be an urban cowboy.
That's right.
Charlie Daniels said the scariest thing he'd ever done was get a bunch of musicians through customs.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that's not a comfortable thing. Hey, coming up in the next segment, we'll talk to Will Doctor, who will have some insight on the U.S. Open that gets underway tomorrow. What I have heard is this is the toughest course in not just on the schedule this year, but maybe in the last 3 or 4 years.
Good. How? Why?
I don't have the answers to that.
We'll have an expert to tell us.
But it's they say that
is it going through the clown's mouth?
Maybe so.
The windmill,
maybe so. Maybe it's got a windmill. It's the windmill spinning, and the clown's mouth is open and closing.
You got to time it perfectly.
And there's a clock, a grandfather clock going this. So there's whirlies, there's side to side, and there's up and down.
So this isn't easy.
It is very difficult.
Have you been following Rory since he hit his?
Yeah, he sucks.
Remember what he said? Well, I'm just in it for fun now. We didn't think you were serious, brother.
So
we'd kind of like to see some good golf from you now.
Yeah. So that's one of the questions I want to ask is it worth throwing a bet on Rory to miss the cut?
I would. Gee, is it even money now? I bet it's pretty damn. I mean, he hadn't put together one single worthwhile round since he won his fourth.
Let's see.
Has he made the cut anywhere? I don't think so.
To miss the cut, Rory is plus 235.
So they see what we see.
It doesn't seem unreasonable. Like there's still, I mean, there's only 5 players have longer odds to miss the cut.
They see what we see. The dude just like, I give up. I'm done. I'm taking the rest of the year off. I'm going to abide by my commitments, but I ain't here to play hard.
Yeah, it is a little odd.
Well, I think it's a testament to the focus you have to have. It really does. It just shows you
got to
how
be serious,
you
man.
have to, and not just, I mean, you have to be dialed in for 8 hours a day, 4 consecutive days. I mean, you don't get even a second off. And Rory isn't dialed in, and it takes you from good to awful so quickly.
There is a massive favorite. Shocker. These Scotty Scheffler lines are getting close to prime Tiger lines.
Not since Tiger in 2000, and we had better money coming in.
Plus 270 to win the tournament. Like, I can't even imagine. And I'm guessing Will's a pretty sharp guy. I'm guessing he's looking at that number plus 270 and saying, I got to find a way to go against him.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And like, if you said, okay, you bet $100, you win $100. Like if I said, I'm going to give you $100 to pick the winner of the tournament. If you get it right, you get $100. If you don't, no loss. Of course, you're going to say Scotty Scheffler, but at these odds, at the prices that are available,
okay, Scheffler Field.
I would take Field every time. Every time. The second favorite, so he's plus 270, plus 275. Bryson DeChambeau's plus 750. Everybody else is 12-1 or longer. So, I mean, these are...
You say you take the Field every time. I'm not sure a lot of folks in Vegas feel that way.
No, clearly not.
I more than anything else, I wish Scheffler had some personality. I wish he lived
the thug life. He got arrested. What do you want him to do?
See, the fact that we joke about that, I just wish that, and it's not a detriment to him. He's a good dude, and he goes out and he plays hard and he wins and he goes home and takes care of his fam and does all that. But don't you wish there's a little fist pump, a little Tiger, a little something where you just felt compelled to watch?
I wish he'd get caught cheating on his wife.
Well, I mean, I hate to sound like this, and I don't want him to be a bad dude, but I'd like to see a little fist pump, a little in your face kind of, yeah, I'm the greatest. It's something, because he's so much better than everybody else.
I'd like him after if he wins the U.S. Open, get on the mic and say, Tiger who?
Something like that, just to drop the mic so we got something to talk about, because you're just a genuinely nice guy who's better at this game than anybody else in the world by far. I mean, he's so far ahead of everybody, and I keep wanting for something to really draw me in to realize that we're dealing with a generational, every 20-year kind of run.
It really is.
We just don't get to see this very often, and I don't think most of us are really reveling in it. I don't think we really are excited. I mean, there was no build up to the U.S. Open other than, oh yeah, that starts tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
There was no, when Tiger was doing this, we were looking forward. We were talking about the course. Is he going to fit his game? Is he going to drive the greens? Is he going to do the stuff that he's done? But we don't have that. It's just excellence. Just, I'm going to roll out and I'm going to beat the pants off everybody around me.
Plus, he's a Texan. I mean,
I wish he'd be more Texan. Have some hat and cattle. You don't have to just have the cattle.
Yeah.
Show off a little bit.
Yeah, I'd like that too. I'd like if he was more of a character. But I mean, really, Tiger wasn't that much of a personality.
But,
we made him into that.
And the step into it and the and all those
little
even he
was
things.
Excited when he won. Yeah, I'd like to see more of that. Yeah, I guess so.
Just something. And that's nitpicking. It's like when people hated the Spurs when they were winning, because it's just boring. Their greatness is dull. Well, that's Scheffler. His greatness is dull,
but it gets the job done. But yeah, we'll talk to Will about that. If there's a way to wager on this thing and find some value out, to me, I've got to find some value going against Scotty Scheffler. I mean, there's 275. There is no value on him. We mentioned earlier in the show the Finch and Udoka were the Knicks asked for permission. They were denied.
That was the Timberwolves. I just said, yeah, you can talk to him.
And now the Mavericks say they believe Jason Kidd will be the coach next season.
That's not saying no.
That is different, isn't it?
That's not a no. That is make your offer better.
Now, according to a team source, as of yesterday afternoon, the Knicks had not yet requested permission to speak to Jason Kidd.
I think the conversation we should have isn't about the coaches they're seeking permission for. It's the situation the Knicks have put themselves in. What the hell were you doing? You didn't have a guy in mind, and now you're relying on the kindness of your enemies to go get your coach.
It's a little odd.
What the hell are you doing? I mean, seriously, you're relying on the dudes that are doing everything they can to beat you 365 days a year to go on that one day. Oh, yeah, you can talk to our coach.
Well, it's like last year when the Cowboys fired when they fired their coach, and I said, well, who's the most qualified available coach that Dallas could possibly hire? And you go down the list and you say, oh, well, okay, he's not available. We've come to it. Mike McCarthy, the most qualified head coach we can. Well, that's the guy you just fired. Tibbs is the most qualified guy they can hire right now.
You wonder why they didn't have a plan, and from anybody that had been affiliated or been around the Knicks for any period of time, every one of them said, no, they don't got a plan. Trust us. This is skin of their teeth. Figure it out as we get along. Why the Knicks have sucked for 50 years. This is the epitome right here. They don't have a plan. They don't have any idea. They just know they don't like that guy. So they're willing to throw the bathwater, the baby, the soap, everything out the window just because that guy made them mad.
Well, in a shocking development, the Knicks are dumb.
Yeah, so
the Knicks are a poorly run organization.
Never try to make sense out of nonsense. If you expect that they have a plan, they don't.
The Knicks are dummies. How you can be like, again, every year it's a race. It's the same in the NFL. It's a race to get a good coach. Like if you're firing your coach, you want to be the first one to fire him so you have the pick of the litter. And the Knicks waited till everybody not only fired their coach, but also hired new ones. And then they said, all right, now we're firing our coach.
And they did that because they were too good.
Yeah.
They were better than they thought they were. So they had to wait to fire their coach. That's the epitome of Nickness right there.
That is
you
it.
Just defined yourselves right there.
That is it.
We got too good, so we couldn't make ourselves fast bad enough. I mean, we had to do it as quick as we could.
All right, let's give away a family 4-pack. A family 4-pack of tickets, Fandango codes, to see Disney Pixar's new film, Elio.
I wonder what the code is. Crow flies at midnight.
Well, we can't tell you the code on the air because then
secret
everybody will have it.
code.
Somebody's got to win it. It's in theaters June 20th. That's 9 days from today. So you're going to have to wait a couple days, but it's going to be well worth the wait. Elio in June 20th is in theaters. You can win a family 4-pack of Fandango codes if you are caller number 3. Caller number 3, you get that family 4-pack of Fandango codes. Simple as that. We will also, coming up later in the show, we'll talk about day one of the mandatory camp and the fact that Micah Parsons was there. And when you look around the league at the rest of the guys who are of his caliber or lesser,
well,
a lot of those guys just didn't show up.
I think Micah called one dude in particular and said, why don't you stay home today?
I think there's probably something to that.
I'd rather you stay home. I'll go to work. Both of us will work out. It'll work out better for both of us. You stay home. I'll go to work. And in between, we're both going to make a whole bunch of money.
Yep. TJ Watt.
Stay home today, brother.
Trey Hendrickson, both stay home.
Scare the fool out of the Steelers. Make them pay you.
Think about that. TJ Watt and Trey Hendrickson stay home. Micah Parsons shows up. Just if you think Micah Parsons is being unreasonable, I'm here to tell you he's not.
No,
because
he wants TJ to get paid.
Yes.
Go get
well, he
paid.
wants Trey to get paid too. Everybody.
Well, the tide rises, my boat goes up, and I know I'm going to be the third guy to get the check. So you guys hold out and get paid.
Terry McLaurin also not really having anything to do with Micah Parsons, but Terry McLaurin also holds out. So some key guys holding out a mini camp it looks like eat the fines Whereas Micah Parsons shows up, and Shoddy said not only is he there, he's not doing a hold-in. He's here to participate.
Like holding, blocking dummies, doing all kinds of stuff.
He's
busy.
doing the stuff. All right. That is 2 hours in the books, 2 hours to go. On the other side, we'll talk to Will Doctor about the U.S. Open and get a feel for how we're going to bet this thing. It is the Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
On your ride to work, it's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson, KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s.
Call Right Home Services.
Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. 210-444.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
In the 80s, everyone was breaking. Break dancing, that is. Lots of moves, spins, flashy colors, and a whole lot of cardboard. Breaking in the 80s was good, but breaking now, not so good. That's why Dave Ramsey recommends Connecticut water softeners in San Antonio and the Hill Country. Seems like many brands of water softeners these days have flashy lights, sounds, and moving parts. Bad news. All those parts are more likely to break and break and break again. With Connecticut water softeners, there are fewer moving parts, and a Connecticut only runs on kinetic energy and is up to 80% more efficient than other competing models. A Connecticut was built to work, not break. That's why a Connecticut was backed by an outstanding 10-year warranty, and right now receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with a trade-in of any water softener and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. With a Connecticut, you'll have water soft as parachute pants on the dance floor.
ConnecticutSA.com.
License number 38961.
Gomez Law Firm has been fighting for the rights of San Antonians for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here. What is something you see often as a personal injury attorney and protecting your clients?
The one thing we always see without fault in a case is that the insurance company will always reach out to them soon after the collision, and they try to get them to agree to a low settlement. They try to get them to agree to signing a piece of paper. They want them essentially to sign their rights away without ever even consulting with an attorney. Right? In the grand scheme of things, if you sign a piece of paper, you're signing your future interest away. So that's why it's so important to call the Gomez Law Firm, because we make sure we protect your rights, and you're not signing your life away. You're not signing your rights away.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then call the Gomez Law Firm first. 210-736-4040 or visit joegomezlaw.com. Protect your family and protect your rights.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s. Our AC is bogus.
Call Right Home Services.
At Right Home Services, we love the 80s, just not on your thermostat. Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. The right AC services, the right team, and the right price. 210-444.
The right stuff. Now we can chill, Mom.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We're still dealing with a couple of stalled 18-wheelers. I-10 eastbound as you approach FM 1518. That stalled 18-wheeler in the right lane. That's a 35-minute delay. The other is in the Von Ormy area, 35 southbound at 1604. That stalled 18-wheeler blocking the median. Now, if you guys see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line so we can check it out at 210-785-2601. But for the most part, most all our major freeway systems filling in and slowing down. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
At long last, the NBA Finals resume tonight. They're shifting their focus to Indiana. Game 3 tonight. You can catch live right here. In the NFL, the mandatory minicaps are well under the way. And in Dallas, Micah Parsons arrived on time, on target. While he showed up for work, Steelers pass rusher TJ Watt and Bengals Trey Henderson stayed home. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center brought to you by Synergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowteam.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
8:01 on the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Good having you in on a hump day, and it is the eve of the U.S. Open. That's right, friends. We've all been waiting for it, and who better to discuss it than Will Doctor, who is a contributor for the PGA Tour from ESPN 97.5 in Houston. You can find his podcast on the Pregame Network. Will Doctor joins us. Will, how are you, friend?
Yeah, AJ, good to be with you guys this morning. Looking forward to maybe this could be what we're about to watch, one of the best U.S. Opens, in the last 5 to 6 years. No other golf course has hosted 10 U.S. Opens. This will be Oakmont's 10th, and they've also hosted, 3 PGA championships. No course in America has hosted this many majors. So, yeah, I'm fired up for the U.S. Open this week, AJ.
What is it about the course that makes it so thrilling?
Yeah, I mean, the demanding layout. You look at the scorecard, you have a 289-yard par 3 on the scorecard. I mean, Colin Morikawa stepped up to this hole and, thought it was a par 4 yesterday. He looks at his caddy and he goes, do we lay up on this one? Do we go for it? And the caddy goes, well, it's a par 3, so you have to go for it. Yeah, the holes are extremely demanding. The lines off the tee are tight. There's bunkers all over the place. And then, this is one of the rare golf courses, Rob, where the greens actually slope from front to back. It's not back to front. There's no backboards. Everything just rolls away from you as far as the approaches onto the green are concerned. So, yeah, as long as it doesn't rain on Saturday and Sunday, right now it's looking firm. Greens are rolling 16s. If it can stay firm and if these little cells cannot hit Plum, Pennsylvania this weekend, you could see an over par score win the U.S. Open.
Okay, Now I was seeing that this is like maybe the toughest course in like the last 5 years. Which I mean, I don't know if that's you believe that to be
I
true.
think that's accurate.
Okay. If that's the case, if this course is so tough, who's going to be rewarded here? A golfer who can stay out of trouble, or a golfer who is good at getting out of trouble once he's in it? Because in my mind, the assumption is the course is this hard. Everybody's going to face some hardship at some point this week. Like, do you want the guys who are good at fighting out of the muck versus the guys who normally stay out of it altogether?
Yeah, I want the guys who stay out of it altogether, because this rough at Oakmont, you can't get out of it. You know, most of the golf courses on the PGA Tour, you can spray it all over the place. Rough's usually not that high. Oakmont, the rough is, up, to their mid calves. You can't get the ball out of there. I mean, you can't advance an 8-iron out of the rough at Oakmont. So as off the tee, you need someone who is just out of there in general, who is not spraying it off the tee, who makes smart decisions off the tee. Not every hole is a driver hole. Bryson DeChambeau is the best driver of the golf ball on the planet. He says if he's hitting at his best, he's actually going to leave the driver in the bag more times than not to set up, to give himself a good angle and to give himself the right number out of the fairway. Now, here's the thing. You can't have bad chippers and pitchers of the golf ball at a U.S. Open, particularly at Oakmont. I want someone who is not missing fairways, and you have to have an above-average short game to win a U.S. Open.
Is there any dark horse out there, especially at a U.S. Open, where you have to have, man meets course? Is there anybody who's got a game that we are not going to look at in the top 15 or top 20 that can surprise somebody over the next couple of days?
Yeah, I've got two guys for you, I think, that come to mind. Keegan Bradley at 100 to 1 on DraftKings is number one. This is really an unbelievable number for Keegan. I mean, when you look at the driving numbers and the iron play numbers for Bradley, Captain America has put on a clinic nearly every week since the Arnold Palmer Invitational. And, since then, since mid-March, he has 3 top 10s and 2 top 20s. He has the game to win here. Bradley is an absolute bomber off the tee, and he does it with incredible precision. Two of those top 10s have come in his last 3 starts. I was saying he's, top 10 3 times since March. 2 of those top 10s have come in his last 3 starts. He finished 8th at the PGA Championship and 7th at the Memorial at Jack's Place, where he was notably positive with the putter for the first time in 5 events. The putter is what cost Bradley at certain points this season, and it's great to see that in his last event rolling into this week, he putted very well at Jack's Place. That's number one as far as Keegan's putting. Number two, at a place like Oakmont where the scores are not going to be super low, I don't worry about the putting as much. All of these guys are average to above average to elite putters. I don't think the putter is going to make the difference to winning the U.S. Open. I think it's more keeping the ball in the fairway and in play. So, yeah, Keegan Bradley's number one. I think there is a chance that the United States will have to ask someone else to captain Team USA at Bethpage for the Ryder Cup. It's becoming a glaring reality that Keegan Bradley will be a playing member of that team. He'll become the first U.S. playing captain since Arnold Palmer in 1963. So, horse number one, Rob, Keegan Bradley at 100 to 1. Horse number two has to be Cam Young at 150 to 1. It's another incredible number for someone who has had the type of results that Cam Young has had over the last 3 weeks. 7th at the Truist, 25th at the Memorial, tied 4th at the Canadian Open. What his last 4 results are not going to show, he was actually not into the U.S. Open field, had to go to final qualifying, beat out Max Homa and slick Rick Fowler in a playoff, to punch his way into this field. And then he goes and, has been playing great the last 3 weeks on the PGA Tour. His iron play has been very good over his last 4 starts. He has been putting at an elite level over his last 4 events. We haven't seen a final qualifier, win at Oakmont since Angel Cabrera in 2007. And this is a guy, Cam Young, who has 5 career top 10s in major championships. So his game sets up very well for this course. 150 to 1 is an unbelievable number. Cam Young at 150 to 1 has to be my second horse.
Rory McIlroy has looked like trash since he finished off his career Grand Slam. And he said those things, after that win, like saying, "Oh, now I feel like I can just relax." And doesn't seem like he's taking things as serious as he once did. And on a course like this, I would imagine if you're not totally dialed in, you could get real ugly real fast here. Am I crazy to take a look at Rory missing the cut? I'm getting around plus 235, plus 240 on that. Is that a wild thing to think, or do you think Rory can actually contend on this course?
AJ, it's absolutely not crazy at all to think that he could pack his bag at Oakmont on Friday afternoon. I'll have John Rahm over Rory McIlroy in a 4-round matchup this week. And you're absolutely right. In Rory's last start last week in Canada, he missed the cut and looked completely out of sync from the jump, particularly with the driver, which took another step back as far as the driving accuracy. It was erratic. It was all over the place. He lost, over 2.5 shots with the irons last week, and his putter offered no help at all. He looked horrible last week. And then he talked to the press yesterday and, said he was just trying to find motivation to go back out there and work as hard as he was working prior to 6 weeks ago when he won the Masters. He's having trouble, finding a reason to go out there and do it. AJ, he told the press that he's now looking for new hobbies and he's looking to pick tennis back up.
Oh, boy.
I'm an absolute pass on Rory McIlroy this week, and I will have John Rahm over Rory McIlroy at minus 133 on MGM. It's that to miss the cut, it's not a crazy idea.
One of the guys that I'm interested in, who I feel like has knocked on the door a couple times. He's getting closer and closer. Still hasn't won a major. I know it's hard to pick guys who haven't won majors to win them until they do. But Joaquin Niemann keeps knocking on the door, and he is, quite frankly, dominating over on the Live Tour, and it's not dissimilar to what Bryson was doing a year ago. It feels like before he won this tournament last year. Is Niemann a guy that you're looking? I know he's a guy historically that you've been a fan of. Is he a guy you're looking at this week?
Yeah, I'm obsessed with this 26-year-old out of Chile. Incredible game. Is number one on the Live Golf money list after he has won 4 Live Golf tournaments so far this year. The one thing, and he recorded his first top 10 at the PGA in his last major start, finished 8th there at Quail Hollow. The one thing when you're looking at Joaquin Niemann this week is when you really dive into his driver, he comes in here having been below average compared to the field in driving accuracy in each of his last 6 events coming into Oakmont. Has a tough time keeping it in the fairway. Maybe at Royal Portrush for the Open, and definitely in future majors to come, he will be a major championship winner by the time it's all said and done. Just not the driver of the golf ball that I want this week at Oakmont.
Let's talk a little bit about the favorite and where he stands in history right now. We were talking earlier about I want something different about Scheffler, something to draw me in other than his absolute greatness. What are other golfers looking at him like when they see this go off? Is there a thought that other than maybe 2 or 3 dudes that everybody's playing for 3rd and 4th?
Well, yeah, I mean, certainly he stands alone, compared to anyone else on the PGA Tour. I wouldn't say he has quite the intimidation factor that Tiger Woods once did. When Tiger passed by you, in the middle of one of his kind of blackout, on the course moments when he was really in the zone, it felt like Darth Vader, was walking past you and he was, floating off the ground. And, I remember watching Tiger at Bay Hill one year and it started pouring rain on Friday and everyone in their caddies are, running into the locker room all soaking wet and, can't keep their equipment dry. And Tiger just walks in completely dry, nothing, pants still perfect, shirt still perfect. This guy, not a blade of, not a touch out of place. But back to Scheffler, when you look at his last 4 events, I think people are really starting to feel like it's not really, in their repertoire to beat them. He won the Nelson by 8. He won the PGA by 5. Had a chance to win at Colonial the week after the PGA, and then won at Jack's Place by 4 in his last start. I think there's only 5 players in history have won the PGA and the U.S. Open in the same year, with the latest being Brooks Koepka in 2018. I love world number one's chances this week at Oakmont. I know that's a stock take, but I picked him up at plus 350 back 3 weeks ago during the week of Colonial to Charles Schwab Invitational. So that was one of my 3 futures.
Yeah, I mean, you did get a good price on him there. Right now, he's sitting at plus 275. Right. It almost feels like that's a non-starter. Like when I see a price like that in a big field, my first thought is, okay, where's the value? Because it's certainly not on the favorite. Is there?
Well, AJ, here's the thing. The one thing there is I think there's always a case with Scheffler, and I've talked about it a lot this year. What are the chances you're going to get a better number for him after the first or second round? If he shoots, a couple over and is, 5 or 6 back heading into the weekend, do you get a better number? Will we get 5 to 6 to 1? I'm not going to wait for it this week, because you look at when he played the 2016 U.S. Open at Oakmont as an amateur, as a freshman in college. He opened here 69 and
nice.
was in the mix. And was in the mix after the first round. So, 9 years later, I think there's a chance he separates himself from the field this week. There's no doubt about it.
Is there another guy in that the next tier, the Brysons, Rahms, Xander, Morikawas? Is there one of those guys, maybe even Louis Oberg or Tommy Fleetwood, you could see competing this week and really making a push at him? Who's your favorite non-Scheffler of the elite guys?
So here's the thing. I'm not a fan of Bryson DeChambeau's current number. I think he should be priced more around 14 to 1 right now. But, he has a new set of irons in the bag. Now, remember, the major concern at the Masters and the PGA Championship, where he had, a pair of top 5 finishes, was that, the approach play was not good in the big moment at Augusta or Quail Hollow. And he has a new set of LA Golf irons in the bag this week. This is a set that is working for Bryson. He said in his press conference that it is a set that is helping him not overdraw the golf ball. It's helping with spin control. It's helping with trajectory. That was a big weakness for him early on this season. I am really looking forward to seeing what, Bryson does with his approach play this week. Now, the one thing that I worry about with Bryson is that, he was a flawless driver of the golf ball, pretty much for the first half of this season. And I don't want to make it sound like it's a major problem over his last 2 events. His last 2 events are 2nd at the PGA and 4th in Virginia. But if you look at the stats, he's been slightly below average with the driving accuracy over his last 2 events rolling into this week. He does separate himself as far as the distance is concerned. I'd still have to put Bryson DeChambeau as my second favorite, and it's obviously Vegas's second favorite as far as this odds board is concerned.
Will Doctor is our guest here. Will, what's your best bet for the tournament? Who's the guy you're looking at?
Yeah, my best bet is Cam Young to top 20 at plus 320 on MGM. This is, we talked about him a little, early on, but, this is a guy that has an unbelievably, high, Vegas is doling out an unbelievably high number on him because I'm really not sure why. He's 150 to 1, and this is a guy with a number of top 10 finishes in major championships. He has played extremely well over the last 3 weeks. 25th at Memorial, shot incredibly low numbers in final qualifying to get in the field this week, and then, finished tied for 4th at the Canadian Open, where he had a chance to win on the 72nd hole. And his driving just sets up for this golf course. He's a bomber. He hits it straight. His iron play has been positive over the last 2 events, and he is a world-class putter as far as this last month is concerned. So my best bet would have to be, and it is, that's what it is on the pod. It's Cam Young to top 20 at plus 320 over on MGM.
Let me ask you about one more guy who's playing well lately and is a pretty long shot here. What do you think of Shane Lowry? He looks like almost every time he's played in the last 11 starts, he's got 9 top 25 finishes, several top 10 finishes in that group. Like, it seems like this dude's playing pretty well and kind of going under the radar here.
So he is playing really well. He had a 4-shot lead going into Sunday at the 2016 U.S. Open. He had a horrible Sunday, ended up losing to Dustin Johnson. 2 years later, Shane Lowry would get his first major championship at the Open. But there's 2 major problems with Shane Lowry. Number one, he doesn't hit the ball. He's a straight driver of the golf ball, hits a lot of fairways, but is below average as far as the distance is concerned. That's a big negative for me at a golf course this long, especially if weather could be coming in over the weekend. And number two is Shane Lowry. Not only did he collapse here in 2016 on Sunday, he collapsed on Sunday at the Masters with a final round 81 where, he told the media after that he needs a 1-hour cool down after his rounds before talking to the press. Like the press has an hour to wait to file for file the story. It's a complete joke. And then, not only did he shoot 81 on Sunday at Augusta, you look at what he did at Jack's Place. He was going into the final round in contention with a chance to win and shoot 77 on Sunday. This is not a player I trust in the final rounds of golf tournaments. Let me give you one more ticket, AJ. I really like Ludvig Åberg to finish top Nordic at plus 180 on DraftKings.
Top
Nordic. Now, Victor Hovland, he's another Nordic. His total driving has been suspect, and he's a below average lifetime chipper of the golf ball at Oakmont. I'm out on Victor. Thorbjorn Oleson's coming off a negative week with the irons. Rasmus Højgaard, his driving is atrocious. Rasmus Nergaard Peterson, he comes in here off 3 miscuts in a row. Nicholas Norgard comes in here off back-to-back miscuts. I think our biggest nightmare in the Nordic leaderboard is Joachim Lagergren, who just came off a second-place finish at the KLM Open last week on the DP World Tour. But this is his first major championship. I think this is going to be no problem for Ludvig Åberg. AJ and Rob, I really like Ludvig Åberg to finish top Nordic at plus 1.
I will do it. We are gonna ask you for top Nordic plays every time we talk to you from now on, because just to hear you say the names, this is it's worthwhile in my opinion. So Will, we appreciate it as always, man. You always break these things down, awesome. Do such a great job. Looking forward to the tournament this week, and hopefully you find some winners, man.
Thanks, Will.
AJ, Rob, have a good one. Thank you.
All right, there you go. Will Doctor. You can find him at PGA.com. ESPN 97.5 out of Houston. He's all over the place. Pregame podcast network as well. It was actually my first hire when I started doing that job. And he joins us via the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricade provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com.
Top Nordic. I'm on
the top
US
Nordic
page right now. Digging
Thorbjorn Hellickson.
Udmundson can outdrive Sven Larkson like nobody's business.
He's been shaky with the irons, but Rasmussen is gonna be the big Nordic to beat this week.
If I can put money on anybody named Ludvig, I'm in.
I'm Team Viking. Yeah, I'm always cheering for Vikings. So this is another chance for me to do it.
I have the opportunity to lay money on not only the top Nordic, I could expand this to the top European.
You could.
I could. I might very well have to look at this.
That's a bold strategy, Cotton.
You can go top Scandinavian. You can really kind of narrow it down if you're after it.
That's right. All right. Thanks to Will Doctor for the insight there. Yeah, I go back to, man, I feel like I'm gonna be able to get plus 250 something on Scotty on Sunday. You know what I mean? I just feels like playing him pre-tournament just feels like I don't know, just doesn't feel like the wise move to me, but I am no expert when it comes to that. That's why we bring Will on. So he's saying he's not waiting around. Usually I see Scheffler usually struggle on day one if anything. And then I go, oh, maybe he's not going to be the best this week. And then by day 3, there he is, top of the leaderboard, and day 4 he wins it. But Will says, no, this week we're not going to mess around. We're going to go ahead and get it in there. It tees off tomorrow morning, Oakmont Country Club up in outside of Pittsburgh, where we'll see plenty of, like, what'd you say, Primanti Brothers sandwiches?
The Primanti Brothers sandwiches. That's right.
We'll see
Stroh's beer, maybe.
They'll have plenty of B-roll of that, I assume.
Don't they make Stroh's in Pittsburgh?
Is that where they make Stroh's?
Oh, they did anyway.
Maybe so. I mean, I'm sure it hadn't changed if that's the case. Iron City beer or something like that. They're making it with the water that comes out of the coal mine sludge.
Monongahela.
And if once you eat it, once you drink it, hey,
you're hooked. You can start carrying around a yellow flag.
You're one of those
Aaron Rodgers can play. Something bad happens to you.
You become a mountain man out there in the West Virginia hills, like the hills have eyes. That's what you become. Good times. All right. Let's hit a break. When we come back, we will we'll talk to Dr. Jason Garrett, and we'll talk some football as well. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First, I'm going to tell you guys about my good friends over at Karbach Brewing. That's right. Karbach, something for everybody in their lineup. Whether you like an IPA, they've got Hopadillo as their flagship IPA, and right now they've got the Hopadillo Imperial available for a limited time. 9.9% ABV on that Hopadillo Imperial. It's a real thumper. And provides all that same in-your-face hop profile that the Hopadillo does. Not your thing? No big deal. The Love Street is their best seller. That's their Cold-style blonde ale. Just a real light, easy drinker. Great for the summertime. And Crawford Bock, Ziegenbach, you're going to be able to find those year-round as well. Both great beers in whether it's hot, cold, whatever the case. Something for everyone in their lineup, and they are all over the city. Of course, they're in the grocery stores. Of course, they're in the liquor stores. But you're going to be able to find them in restaurants and bars as well. If you're hanging out at places, you think, oh, I'm not going to be able to find this beer. I'm promising you, more often than not, the place that you're going is going to have something from Karbach either on tap or in a can. So when you're out and about watching the game tonight even, go ahead and ask your bartender to please make it a Karbach.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like a new trouble spot on 35 southbound at Rittiman. Accident left lane. Still have that stalled 18-wheeler. I-10 eastbound as you approach FM 1518. That's now a 40-minute delay. It's in the right lane. Stop and go from FM 1516. 410 northbound also starting to fill in and slow down from Rigsby to W.W. White. And in the Von Ormy area, 35 southbound at 1604. That stalled 18-wheeler blocking the median. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
With Target, this Father's Day will be epic. Get up to 30% off gifts for dad. Plus, buy one and get the second one at half price on games, books, music, and more with Target Circle. From stylish apparel and top fitness gear to amazing games and Lego sets, you'll find the perfect gift for him no matter how he dads. Now through Father's Day, save up to 30% on select gifts for him. Plus, buy one, get the second at half price on games, books, music, and more with Target Circle. Only at Target. Restrictions apply.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio where I've practiced for more than 30 years. And San Antonio has really grown since I started practicing law. The risk of injury in a car crash today is greater than it's ever been because every day we're forced to share our roads with 80,000-pound 18-wheelers and some truly dangerous drivers. If you or a family member is injured in a car crash, know this. The insurance companies are mobilized against you. They have highly trained adjusters and a long roster of attorneys with one job: pay as little as possible. Their techniques are extensive, and I believe you have zero chance of obtaining a fair recovery on your own. If you're involved in a car crash, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible after the collision and before you speak to the insurance company's adjusters. Now, I do not have a comic book nickname. I do not call myself the Law Eagle, the Tiger Lawyer, the Law Chupacabra. I think the practice of law needs to be taken more seriously. If you've been injured, call me, Jason Thompson, for a free consultation. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or my website, alawyerforus.com.
The right stuff. Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s.
Call Right Home Services.
Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. 210-444.
June is Gun Violence Awareness Month. Violence prevention is injury prevention.
911, what's your emergency?
Keep guns locked, secure, and out of reach of children. Firearms are the leading cause of death for people under 20. Never leave a gun in your vehicle. Stolen firearms are often used in other crimes. In a moment of conflict, don't let a split decision become a lifetime of regret. Never celebrate with gunfire. It's dangerous and illegal. Prevent an injury, store guns safely. Learn more at sa.gov/health.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
John, what do you think about these tariffs? What do you think is going to happen? Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The prices on used cars have suddenly come up because the cost has gone up. And at GiveMeTheVin.com, we're paying more. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com, put in your license plate, and see for yourself. We're paying more today than we were yesterday. Remember, the tariffs have raised the car prices, and we are paying extra. GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer. Sell us your car.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
School's out, summer's in, and that vacation countdown is officially on. But what about your four-legged MVP? Bluebonnet Pumpkin Biscuit in Selma has your furry family member covered. Daycare, boarding, grooming, and training, they've got it all. They're built for your pet's health, happiness, and tail-wagging good times. If you're in the military, your teacher, or your first responder, they've got barking good exclusive discounts. So go ahead, book that trip, hit the beach, crush your summer plans. Bluebonnet Pumpkin Biscuit has your pet in good hands. Because home away from home isn't just for humans. Bluebonnet Pumpkin Biscuits in Selma. There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
All right. Joining us now on the Buyer's Barricade guest line. You know him. You love him. The power forward from Arasti, Dr. Jason Garrett. Dr. Garrett, good morning, sir.
Doing?
There he is. We're doing lovely, Doc. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, summer's going well.
You sound like you're surprised.
Well, you never know what life's going to bring you.
All in all pretty good.
Yeah, shockingly, life's not bad. Good for you. Good for you. I'll be asking some questions next week as my moving truck arrives this week. I'm sure I'll have some questions on how to fix a back and maybe some leg stuff. But I will have my issues. Don't you worry. I think first let's talk about Coach Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh had some medical stuff over the weekend. Had a cardiac ablation and a hip replacement surgery in the offseason. Is this one of those things where Coach Harbaugh is going to have to be like walking around in on some sort of a walker, or is he going to be good to go by the time the season gets underway?
Well, it's shocking how well people do with hip replacements and knee replacements now. I mean, literally, they go in there, they chop off the end of your femur, they put a titanium implant in there, hammer things back together, and you're walking an hour later. So
that's unreal.
I don't see this holding him back yet. And being pretty fit and young as he is, he's going to respond much better. And that example I use is like for a 90-year-old woman. This is a pretty fit, pretty athletic young guy. So I can't imagine it's going to hold him back at all. The heart ablation thing, definitely out of my scope, but I'm sure he was just having a little bit of AFib. His heart was beating too fast, and they burned one of the nodes off.
Just a little AFib,
no big deal.
At my age, that's what we just say in the locker room. How you doing? Little AFib, just hanging in there. when we're dealing with the this time of the year, when in OTAs and practices, and we're getting all the reports of guys that had all their surgeries last year, and they're all kind of telling us how they're thinking, how they're feeling, they're going to be ready for the regular season. When you're dealing with guys that are on the rehab and you're trying to prognosticate whether they're going to be ready in 3 or 4 months, what is the basis for your athletics, for your trainers to say, all right, we think he's going to be ready for training camp? It's June.
Yeah.
I'm always, that to me is the witchcraft of what you guys do. How can you tell?
It's really case by case basis. It depends on what surgical procedure or what injury they're recovering from. There's pretty consistent benchmarks that they've got to hit for each of those surgeries. And as long as they hit those in time or early, then there's not a lot of concern. They start getting concerned when guys don't hit those benchmarks, whether it's, able to run without pain, able to lift X number of pounds, able to jump this high, run and cut. If they can't do those things at the right time, then it starts to become a lot more concerning.
Bryce Harper, who is dealing with an wrist inflammation, he's been placed on the IL. What's the when you say wrist inflammation? What do you, is it just a general thing? Is it just swollen, or is there usually something inside that's going to cause that? And is it a long-term issue or not?
Yeah, the wrist one is pretty complex. You got 8 carpal bones, you got 5 hand bones, 2 arm bones leading in there. Any one of those things can cause quote unquote inflammation. So if it's a sprain or a strain, it's usually pretty straightforward. If it's a wear and tear injury, then they've just got to get that inflammation under control. Otherwise, it's going to keep on getting worse. A lot of times those little carpal bones, if they don't articulate well, one kind of gets stuck, or if there's a small tear in there, then it just constantly changes the range of motion and creates more and more irritation. A lot of times they'll do an injection to kill that inflammation, do some PRP, stem cell stuff, and then just let it rest and let it heal.
Zach Edey, big man for the Memphis Grizzlies, had surprise ankle surgery to restabilize it, they're telling us. Now, he's 7'3", weighs upwards of 300 pounds. When you're dealing with that kind of weight and torsion on the ankle the size of an elephant's, I mean, is the rehab different?
Yeah, it for sure is. You don't want to go down the route of the Yao Mings. And once a big man that big starts having ankle and foot issues, it's not great for their longevity. Unless it's just a pretty straightforward thing, like he tore his ATFL, which I'm sure one of you guys probably has torn that, spraining your ankle before. That's really easy to fix. But if you got some chronic inflammation in there, you got some wear and tear, if you have some foot biomechanics that are changing now as a result of the surgery, which usually happens, then it's going to be an ongoing issue going forward.
Giancarlo Stanton, epicondylitis in both elbows. He's coming back. He's going to he's starting a rehab assignment in AA. But what is epicondylitis, and how's it going to affect a guy who swings a baseball bat for a living?
So it's interesting. Every person that's ever worked out is going to have epicondylitis at some point. By the time you turn 35 to 45 is kind of your prime window for that. And all it is, it's either a tennis elbow or golfer's elbow. So if it's on the outside of your elbows, it's tennis elbow. If it's on the inside of your elbows, it's golfer's elbow. It's where those forearm muscles insert into your elbow, and for whatever reason. Yeah, everybody will get it at some point.
But Rob doesn't work out, and he has it.
Well, I do certain things.
Yeah, well, I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, you are left-handed. Never mind.
Yep, everyone's going to get it. It's actually easy to manage, but a lot of times you just have to educate people that it's not going to get worse. It's not going to tear off the bone. With a guy like him that produces so much torque and power, it might actually rip off the bone. So he's a little different animal than most of us.
That's a repetitive use injury.
That is Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. We appreciate the time, Doc, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks, Doc.
All right, thanks, guys.
All guests appear via the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.
Should have kept them around for a little rehab work, a little therapy action. You know,
I mean,
you never know. You never know that you want to meet a stranger, if you know what I mean.
I don't think that's his job to do that.
Well, I mean, he gets people back in the game. Well, I need to get back in the game.
I think you're going to need to ask your wife to get you back in the game.
String. That's why I got to call him. What are you talking about?
That's right.
I'm married for 30 years.
You need her to start doing. Keep up. Keep up.
Can I have an injury named after me?
Thompson elbow.
Thompson elbow. There's only one way you can get Thompson elbow, you know.
Well, I think we all know
He
what
really
that
likes
is.
himself, let's
We
put it that way.
all know what that is. How about Aaron Rodgers?
He's married,
A married man. Oh my.
She lives in the greater Niagara Falls area.
It was a big secret. He said it's not an Oura ring; it's a wedding ring. Married for a couple months. I've yet to confirm the identity of my wife.
Is this some kind of mail order bride?
I like to keep it a secret.
Her name is. I met her in Bolivia.
She was the youngest daughter of my shaman.
My shaman. I earned her.
One of them. Yeah.
Yes.
One of them.
Yes. We were in the spirit realm, and he made it. And we made a rock, paper, scissors bet, and I beat him in the spirit realm.
Cook, you ever had her ibogaine stew?
Ah, yes.
Man, her ayahuasca tea.
Yeah. So his new wife is now privy to half of this 13.65 million. I assume a guy like Aaron Rodgers, as holistic as he is, doesn't believe in things like prenuptial agreements.
The gods will sort things
That's
out.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it goes in with a whole new mindset, Rob. A whole new mindset.
What did he say?
A
Something
married
about
man.
Pittsburgh is good for his soul. Is that what?
Yes,
is that a quote?
of course it is. Everyone thinks Pittsburgh is good for their
That's
soul.
never been said before. Terry Bradshaw didn't even say
A lot
that.
of people say that. It happens a lot.
Pittsburgh is good for my soul.
It's not only good for it's the best for his soul. It was a decision that was best for his soul and for his pocket. I don't need it to keep playing. A lot of decisions that I've made over my career and life from strictly the ego, even if they turn out well, are not fulfilling. But the decisions made from the soul are usually pretty fulfilling. And this was a decision that was the best for my soul.
Deep thoughts.
And I felt like being here with Coach Tomlin and the guys that got here, and the opportunity here was the best for me. And I'm just excited to be here. There were conversations with other organizations, sure. But they all told me to piss off.
Yeah, none of them seemed to want to pay
excuse me. He says, but again, the report that fell in between me and Mike made it to where, as I was going through my personal stuff, there wasn't any other option for me. It was here or not play. Particularly after Minnesota told me no.
Everybody else had told me no.
Yeah, Minnesota said no thanks.
Suddenly, this place got good for my soul.
Yeah, good for him. Hope the best for him.
Yeah,
of course.
man, that's good for your soul.
Of course we do.
That and a big old plate of fried scrapple every morning, that'll get you going.
Now, Myles Garrett says he's got a good chance to put him in the graveyard now. So that's
There is that.
Those are harsh words.
There is the possibility of your imminent death.
The
there.
graveyard from a man who once swung a helmet like a club at a defenseless player. I want to be careful about trying to put people in the graveyard, Miles.
As long as he doesn't say anything derogatory. Aaron,
Aaron would never do that.
Racial epitaph
would
to bring
never
something like that on.
But that was a Steelers quarterback, so you never know. He might just see him and
get him confused.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I remember what you said
like
last."
Mason, I'm sorry.
It's like, when on the Water Boy, when he'd look across the field and he'd see you, and he'd be like, it'd be his old coach yelling at him, and he's like, "What? I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. Water's better." Yeah, maybe that's how Myles Garrett's going to see Aaron Rodgers. The other team in the AFC North that is getting a lot of offseason discussion is the Cincinnati Bengals. Trey Hendrickson sits out day one of mandatories. Not really a surprise. This Shamar Stewart thing is a bit of a surprise, though.
It's got to be the situation that he finds himself because it appears that his starter ain't going to be there. And he wants to get paid. I can't. This contracts are set. I don't know what he's holding out. Shamar Stewart, Aggie lineman, their top pick to kind of come in and help. And the expectation is he's going to play a lot. And I think his agent is trying to squeeze everything out of it, or doesn't want him in camp. I don't get this.
He says they asked about a timetable. He says, I have no idea. I really don't know. He is at minicamp. He's there studying his playbook and going to meetings and taking notes. But he says, I'm fully within his right to not sign the contract they presented. And he said, we'll all agree Trey would be right. Stewart asked the media, but technically he's still 1% wrong for being under contract. In my case, I'm 100% right, so it should be a no-brainer. It's weird because his situation is more about the Bengals trying to protect themselves if he isn't available because of an injury.
Right.
And Stewart he's basically the way it works is that he's saying, I'm not going to sign this deal if it doesn't pay me if I get hurt. And the Bengals are saying, well, we're not looking to pay you if you're hurt all the time.
We don't do guarantees.
It's also, it's making it really weird because they asked him yesterday, they were like, does this sour your relationship with the Bengals going forward? He's like, I'm not going to say that.
Well, it is.
I'm still here.
I mean, it is a business. They all get that. I mean, everybody knows everybody's trying to get paid. And the true anger isn't reserved for your coaches. It's the general manager and the owner. So everybody understands it's a business.
I get it. I just can't. I mean, you're a rookie. You're a rookie who, quite frankly, didn't put up any numbers in college. And
I agree. It's not unprecedented, but the amount of arrogance required to do this, like, dude, you're not a number one overall.
I mean,
the contract is structured. It's not like we're negotiating a whole lot. There's a little bit. There's some more signing bonus money that he's obviously holding out for, but the dollar value of the contract is according to where he was drafted. That's it.
This whole thing is just really odd. The fact that the Bengals can't seem to get anything right.
Well, I'll say this. If I was an athlete
on that side of the ball,
well, if I was an athlete drafted to the Bengals, much like a lot of places where the moment you negotiate your salary, when you walk into a new business, that's the last time you will ever be addressed about your money. Most places you get hired, you be there 10 years. You ain't getting no raise. There's no COLA coming unless the business gets better. The boss decides you get you a raise. You better get your money when you walk in the door. And I think that Shamar Stewart's looking at the dude in front of him like he didn't get his money. I'm going to get mine now or I'm going to be someplace else.
Said, I'm not asking for nothing y'all have never done before. But in y'all case, y'all just want to win an argument instead of winning more games, in my opinion. Boy.
I appreciate your passion. I do. Keep in mind, you're a rookie, dude. You have done nothing.
But this is also embarrassing for the Bengals. Like you're talking about, it sounds to me like they're arguing over pennies.
Well, I get the sense that there's a little bit of that, but that's the Browns or the Bengals. I think if you're dealing with the Bengals, you better squeeze every freaking penny at every opportunity because look what they're doing to the stars. Look at the dudes that have actually earned it, and
You're right.
they're hammering them. So I'm not going to make it easy on you. And once we just come to a deal, we'll be friends. But right now, this is business.
Now, the other thing is a lot of the stuff that apparently they're arguing over is if can his contract be defaulted if he's suspended or has a non-football injury. And those are just standard things.
Yeah, there's no negotiating this.
Yeah, don't go wrestling alligators or whatever. Like that's
I don't understand this other than it's a ploy to scratch out another $20K. I mean, and really that's all we're talking about. There's not a whole lot of money to play with.
But the way that it's worded is in the past, let's say Vic is signed by the Bengals and he wrestles an alligator and gets his arm bit and he can't play this year. Well, the Bengals in the past would have voided the contract for that year. So you wouldn't have gotten paid because you were doing dumb things outside of football and you shouldn't have been doing them. And so you're not getting paid this year. But next year, things go back to normal. You've got a chance to start over. What the Bengals are asking for is they want to be able to avoid the entirety of the contract if you do something dumb. So if you get suspended or you break your neck, jumping off a bridge, they want to say, we don't want to pay you at all. And that's the end of it.
They would be justified in a lot of cases to do that.
But that's where it seems, from what I've read, that seems like where the push-pull is.
But this is not a new argument. This has been part and parcel to the NBA or NFL, NBA, all players. How much am I allowed to do away from the game? And if I do hurt myself and it's part of my life. I remember Jordan had to get a special rider to be able to play as much golf. And there's been guys that have gotten riders because they like to ride a horse. I remember Novacek had a little thing added into his contract. If I get hurt riding a horse, I'm still good. I mean, there's those things you can build into your contract once you're a pro and have proven your value. Shamar Stewart, you haven't laced up your shoes yet, and you're asking if you get the special protection that we're not offering to anybody else. Strange situation.
It is very odd, but again, we'll see if they can get it worked out. It seems like this is
only
stuff that should.
Yes, this is a penny pinching organization dealing with penny pinching issues. You think anything like this would happen in Dallas? Like, dude, all right, here's your money. Come on, come to work.
Yeah. But also, stay away from alligators.
Well, yeah, dude, don't do stupid stuff.
I think there's a little bit of both, both parties at fault here. But Shamar Stewart, he thinks he's 100% right.
Well, if you can get it, more power to you. I mean, there's nothing wrong with asking and demanding until you have to show up for work. So, he's showing up.
And that's the other thing. Shamar Stewart, unlike these other guys, he's not going to pay a fine because he's not under contract. Like, you can't find someone who's not under contract with the team.
Well, they can withhold. He's there. Remember, all they have to do is be there. They don't have to be working out. He's there, like they said, studying. But so he gets that $100K when it eventually does arrive. But
this isn't helping him with football.
I don't see anything. I don't know what else he's got. We're talking about nominal amounts of money. You know what it is? It's the cost of an insurance policy. That's
basically.
We're talking about the cost of a term injury policy for the next year, which is nothing.
No, it seems like it would be something that they'd want to get behind him as soon as possible. But again, like you said, it's the Bengals. They are it's a cheapskate organization, and you deal with cheapskate organizations. You get
every year
cheapskate issues.
Yeah, but they have that issue. Last year it was, of higher stature, but last year it was Chase,
but when
around the sideline.
Rookies, if you can't get these things figured out,
well, he's taking a pay cut coming from A&M.
Probably so.
So he's going to have to watch his money.
Elsewhere in the NFL, apparently the J.C. Horn overheard a play called by Bryce Young during the minicamp. So he told the defense what route they were running, and Bryce Young was yelling at him saying, y'all shouldn't be doing that. You should believe in yourself, not to resort to that stuff. It's like, but
that's practice, man.
He said he's talking way more this year. He's talking trash every day. But yeah, he got in his face, jawed at him a little bit for stealing his play. And the rumor is that now a lot of people are saying it's a good thing that Bryce Young is starting to show some emotion, starting to get fired up a little bit. Adam Thielen said guys are finally sick of being the same old Carolina Panthers. He said we want to get back to what they did here in the past. Deep playoff runs. We want to get the crowd involved, the city pumped up. Just guys are sick of the same old. But he says, when I'm talking trash to the receiver, J.C. Horn says, when I'm talking trash to the receivers or I'm talking trash to Bryce, it's just brotherly love. Almost like you grow closer doing that. It's almost like fighting with your brother every day at home. As soon as y'all go to the mall, nobody else better say something to him or you're rolling for him. But Dave Canales was saying there's a defiance to Bryce Young right now. It's just kind of the way he's competing. He's not super animated with it, but he definitely thrives off that, feeds off the energy. And JC's trying to bait him right now, and we're not mad about it. We're not mad about it.
I agree with it. You got to get out of that old we're Carolina mindset. They're a downtrodden organization.
Do you think Bryce Young has any hope?
No, I don't think he can. I don't think he has the capability of pulling them out. He might be able to right the ship. He might be able to plateau, but he's not going to lift.
I feel bad because he seems like a nice kid. I'd love to see him succeed. I just don't think he's going to.
And he might someplace else, but I don't think he has the wherewithal to lift this franchise as hard as it needs to be lifted. There's just a lot to get done.
It is it's a tough process. And he got small hands.
He's got little tiny doll hands, which is weird.
When he's just a baby.
Little tiny hands.
He's just a little baby. What do you mean? Would you pick up your whole franchise? You're just a little baby. He can hold the ball.
Well, he had to learn from Kenny Pickett. Those two had to
he can hold the ball.
Little hand passing.
What do you mean he can't hold the ball? Of course he can hold the ball. He's a ball thrower. Sometimes to the other team, but still he's a ball thrower.
Dale, if you're already mad at your cornerback on day one of OTAs, I can't wait to see what 3 weeks in a training camp looks like after you've had 26 practices and they truly know the play.
And Shador Sanders talking about getting the basically getting the scraps of the reps at practice. Says life's just based on how you view different things. So you can view things like you're not getting reps in a negative way, or you can view it as, okay, when it's my time to get out there, let's be proactive and let's get them warm. Let's get them going. So there's no excuses, because when you get out there, nobody cares how many reps you got whenever you get in a game. Nobody cares if you took a snap before. Everybody cares about production. So that's the main thing when you get out there. You got to be able to produce.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude, I think being a 5th-round draft pick humbled this guy in a way that is probably the best thing that could have happened to him.
He says all the right things, doesn't he? I mean, I appreciate his altitude.
All right, 1 hour of programming left. We've got some Cedar and Daughtry tickets to give away, and we'll take another look at the NBA Finals game tonight coming up. It is the Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA.
This report is sponsored by H-E-B. H-E-B's here to help you celebrate Dad the Texas way. Stop in for gifts, cards, grilling must-haves, and more for a special Father's Day he won't forget. All at H-E-B's everyday low prices. H-E-B. Here, everything's better.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District knows that life moves fast, and the last thing you want is to miss out due to an illness. Vaccines are safe and help your immune system fight off serious disease that can stop or change your plans. They protect you, the people you love, and can prevent you from getting sick. Let's get vaccinated, because when it comes to your health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. For more information, visit sa.gov/health.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s. Our AC is bogus.
Call Right Home Services.
At Right Home Services, we love the 80s, just not on your thermostat. Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. The right AC services, the right team, and the right price. 210-444.
The right stuff.
Now we can chill, Mom.
When you switch to Progressive and bundle your home and auto, you could save hundreds, and that's a surprising amount of money.
Whoa, that's like farmer's market money.
That's like, give me a gallon of that locally sourced raw honey money.
That's certified organic heirloom tomatoes in every imaginable color except red money.
That's, let's get 2 pounds of pink oyster mushrooms money. I'm not even sure I like pink oyster mushrooms.
Guess it's time to find out, because you could save hundreds when you switch to Progressive and bundle. Then the world is your pink oyster mushroom. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
It's time. Time for the pro to get everything for the entire job, all from one partner. To get access to over 3 million products, including many products you won't find in our stores. It's time to get delivery on your schedule or next day on over 50,000 products. And time to get dedicated support on the job site or in our stores. From ordering to planning, we've got you. One partner, any job, all in. Ask about all we can now do at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and top users make $200 to $300 per month.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code STEER25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code STEER25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code STEER25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
George gets justice.
You've just been in an accident, and now you're asking yourself, what do I do now? You're dealing with pain, medical bills, and missing work. Dealing with the insurance company feels overwhelming. George Salinas Injury Lawyers, we're here for you. We'll listen and explain your options and fight to get you the justice you deserve. No upfront fees, no stress, just real help when you need it most. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today or visit us at getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Warning, the national debt is spiraling out of control. Trade wars are causing record volatility, and inflation could make a devastating comeback. Will you sit on the sidelines and wait, or will you take action today to help protect your hard-earned retirement savings? And what if you could do it tax and penalty-free? Find out more by requesting your free 2025 gold and silver kit from the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco. Plus, you could get an unlimited instant match on bonus silver if you qualify. Call 855-969 Gold to learn more. That's 855-969 Gold.
Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
The right stuff.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s.
Call Right Home Services.
Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. 210-444.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like a new trouble spot on 35 southbound at Rittiman. Accident left lane. Still have that stalled 18-wheeler. I-10 eastbound as you approach FM 1518. That's now a 40-minute delay. It's in the right lane. Stop and go from FM 1516. 410 northbound also starting to fill in and slow down from Rigsby to WW White. And in the Von Ormy area, 35 southbound at 1604. That stalled 18-wheeler blocking the median. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
At long last, the NBA Finals resume tonight. They're shifting their focus to Indiana. Game 3 tonight. You can catch live right here. In the NFL, the mandatory minicaps are well under the way. And in Dallas, Micah Parsons arrived on time, on target. While he showed up for work, Steelers pass rusher T.J. Watt and Bengals Trey Henderson stayed home. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Oh, yes, friends. It is 9:01 on the Morning Huddle. The final hour of Hump Day. That's right.
At least our Hump Day.
Yeah. You and I. Some of you just getting started, and that sucks for you, man.
Sure does. I'll be on the 15th
I
hole.
gotta work a 9 to 5. Where?
I'll be on hole 15 by the time.
Right. It's 5 o'clock.
Be several hours into my nap. There's a story on ESPN.com, quarterback questions for 32 NFL teams. The question about the Dallas Cowboys, which version of Dak Prescott will we get this season? Says the Cowboys hope it's the healthy version. Prescott's played 6 fully healthy seasons in his 9-year NFL career, and the Cowboys won the NFC East in 4 of those. Even after losing him midway through last year, Dallas still managed to finish 7-10. Prescott's expected healthy to start training camp. They've added George Pickens to pair with CeeDee Lamb and expand Prescott's options in the passing game. If the post-Zach Martin offensive line holds up the way the Cowboys expect, Dallas has plenty of reasons to think it can contend with Philly and Washington in the NFC
What do you
East.
think?
I think that the Cowboys are optimistic about the offensive line in a way that I am not. I do think if Dak is healthy, he's got better weapons than he's had in some time. He should have a good season. If he doesn't have a good season with CeeDee and George Pickens, and It's a Dak thing, not a weapons thing.
Yeah, I think the only thing I'm worried about is health. I think he's going to have a good year. I mean, a Dak Prescott year, which will be defined by a couple of games where there's something just lacking. I don't know what you describe those games that Dak has a tendency to have, where you just look at it and it just didn't work. But I think there'll be fewer because of the weapons he'll have around him. He'll have better running backs. He'll have better wide receivers. Hopefully he'll have a healthy tight end room. And with that, I do expect lots and lots of yards and a fair amount of points. I think that when we look back at the Cowboys season, all things being healthy, I don't think the offense will be the problem, or at least Dak will be the problem. I think the offensive line in the run game is going to force the Cowboys to throw the ball some games 40, 45 times. And when they get into that, they always lose because Dak is not the kind of quarterback that wins those games.
Nope. The Houston Texans, their question is, what do the offensive coordinator and O-line changes mean for C.J. Stroud in year 3? How funny it is that Bobby Slowick was like doing head coaching interviews in the offseason 2 years ago, and then he's fired. And now C.J. Stroud is going to have a new coordinator and a very, very new offensive line.
It's a volatile situation.
It's hard to say the offensive line can get much worse, but, I mean, Laramie Tunsil, for whatever he is, and I tend to trust D'Amico when he made that move. It felt like it was probably a locker room move more than anything.
Doubt.
But Laramie Tunsil was still the best player on that offensive line. He was no longer, an elite left tackle, but he was still the best player on that offensive line, and you kicked him to the curb. That's going to be the big question: is how's that offensive line play, and how does the new play caller, Nick Caley, how does he do with CJ? But I think and I think CJ's health is also a question, although I guess he was throwing yesterday, which is a good start.
Which, that doesn't mean anything to me. 3 days of throwing the ball around and you were sore from overwork in the offseason, that's of concern. But I put that to bed. I do believe that the Texans are going to have a maturation process. I think that everybody's going to get better. I just don't think they're going to get as much better as a lot of Houston fans think they're going to be.
I agree.
You know what I mean? I think they are going to be better. I think the offense will flow. I have no doubt in my mind that he is a starting NFL quarterback with potential, with the ability to lead a very good football team. So I think there's going to be the continued improvement. It just seems to be they're going to need something splashy to happen. Somebody's going to have to step in, a receiver, a back, a player that kind of makes a difference. I look back at maybe like a Diggs getting interception, something like that kind of changes the momentum of a game or two to help this offense. But I don't think it's going to be the kind of improvement that Texan fans are looking forward to.
We will see what kind of splash Jaden Higgins can make as the presumed number 2 wide receiver. We'll see what Nico Collins is obviously a stud, but and Texans fans that I've talked to are all excited about the running game. Joe Mixon, Dameon Pierce already, and then they add Nick Chubb, but none of that matters if your offensive line's no good. Like the teams that have good running games, it's great to have good running backs. And I've said it already. I don't know if Nick Chubb is still a good running back. Nick Chubb has a good brand name. I don't know if Nick Chubb can still play, but you have to prove to me that this offensive line can block for him before I start to get excited about the Texans run game. The Texans offensive line has been so bad for so long that it's hard for me to have any expectations that they're going to change.
And that's why Slowick got fired. His offensive line could not live up to the game plans he wanted to put together.
Art says still kings of the AFC South. Well,
maybe.
God, I would hope so.
Yeah,
the
maybe.
AFC South is so pathetic. I mean,
that's a good place to be, though, man. You get a chance to get better.
Beat up on whoever you can,
but you're not going to. It's no iron sharpens iron scenario.
No. It's rough sledding right now in the AFC South. It's one of those somebody's got to win it things. Right now, the Texans are the tallest little person.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're the tallest little person. But they also, listen, man, I still think CJ Stroud has the potential to be great.
I do too. I'm not down on him at all. And it's, I feel like I'm having to make excuses for him for 2 consecutive years because the potential looks so good that when he doesn't, when the team doesn't match what he's capable of or capable of growing into, He's going to suffer a little bit, but I do think you'll see continued improvement.
Yeah. This is last year at this time, I was telling everybody who would listen, CJ Stroud is not going to be as good this year as he was his rookie year. And he wasn't, just because the league adjusts to you.
Yeah, there's film and you're playing a tougher schedule. You're just
it doesn't mean that CJ Stroud's not good. It just means that the NFL, these defensive coordinators, these defensive players aren't going to let you go and embarrass them. Like they're going to learn from it, and you're going to have to make some adjustments.
And we're being nice. I would say this time next year, the conversation is going to be very different.
I think so too.
I think the expectations are going to be, after this year, you've been around long enough. You should have learned all you need to learn. Now it's time to be very successful.
That said, 2 years, he's got a playoff win in both those years.
I agree. He set a high bar to start things,
no
but
doubt.
Now's the time. After 3 years in the league, you're supposed to be who you're going to be.
All right, let's shift to the NBA. Game 3 tonight in Oklahoma City. Mentioned that some money's come in on the dogs, the home dogs, as the Indiana Pacers now. Oh, just kidding.
Uh-oh, did we bump already?
It's bumped.
Everybody woke up.
Yeah, it's now 5.5 again. So it's you had a chance at 5 for a minute.
You should have gotten with us at 6. We had good numbers.
Yeah, things have kicked back the other way. Total still holding strong at about 228. What do you expect out of game 3? What's your I
think the Pacers come out as fast as they can. I do think they're going to come out with a solid first quarter. If you like the Pacers, I like first half numbers, but I don't think that they're going to be able to sustain.
Let's see. First quarter numbers. Let's see if we can pull that up and see if we can get ourselves some action here.
I'd like the over in the first. I'd like to see, and I do expect that Halliburton at the very minimum is going to get a bunch of shots. I don't know if they'll fall, but I think they're going to do everything they can to get him moving early. And looking at first quarter scores, I like them to take the lead, and maybe even in the first half, but I just don't think it's going to be sustainable.
Okay, let's see. In the first quarter, Pacers are a 1-point dog.
See,
and if you like them to be leading, they're plus 115 to have a lead in the first quarter.
I would chase that. I would chase it. This is home court against a fandom that has not hosted have they hosted a finals ever? I don't think so.
No.
So it's going to be an electric land. So OKC's going to have to weather some punches early.
First half. Now you get to the Thunder are 2.5-point favorites. If you think the Pacers have a lead at halftime, plus 140.
Some money in there.
There is.
If you believe that the offense will show that home teams shoot better, that the others play better in front of mama, then that's good numbers.
How about this prop? First to 15 points. Pacers are plus 110.
See?
So then you're even cutting it even less than a quarter. If you think the Pacers start hard, you probably want your window to be as small as possible.
I agree.
So first to 15 being plus 110, maybe that's a place to look.
I just feels like they're going to throw everything against the wall they can early, see if there's something that works that they can stick with. And if there's not, they're just going to have to gut it out.
Yeah. The props for tonight, Shea, his number is sitting at 35.
That's too much.
I mean, well, it hasn't been in a while.
But what is he hitting? Like 31, 32 on average?
Yeah.
Right there. So, we're asking for 2 more buckets on the games where he's getting buckets for 48 minutes. That's a big ask.
How about Jalen Williams, 21?
Man, if I had any history with him, if this was next year, if I had any idea, is he capable of living under pressure? So far, I have 2 years of him not showing up.
Yeah, part of me wants to say under 21. Tyrese Halliburton, how about 18?
That seems high, man. Because if I'm Oklahoma City, I have one job tonight, and it's going to be to make sure he does not play a role in a win.
How about Siakam, 20?
I like that.
I like that too. I think he gets 20. Chet, 15.
I like that. I think that he's trending. First game, sorry. Next game, a lot more aggression, especially in the second half. Let's see if he can carry it on and put a couple quarters. If he does that, he's worth 15.
Okay, who's the X factor guy? Who's the guy that not the non-star you think can have a big day?
For the Pacers, it's going to have to be Naismith. He's their best 3-point shooter. If they're going to win, he's going to have to hit 4 of them.
If you think 13, It's minus 130.
He's right there. You know what I mean? 4 would be at 12. So that's what he's going to have. If you think the Pacers have a fighting chance, Naismith is going to have to do it. So if so, fact so, yeah, chase the money with Naismith. He's
How
the
about
other.
Alex Caruso 10?
That's a big ask. He's going to be playing a lot of defense tonight.
Been playing a lot of defense the whole series and still scoring.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet threes, but I would bet layups. So 10 points might be doable. Would be poke away steals.
Here's one I kind of like: Obi Toppin 10.
He's again. If he's and 3 of those are going to have to be threes. They're just going to, and he's capable of it. So if you think they're going to be competitive, I like that Obi number.
A guy that I want to go under on, who just is coming off of a big game. I think I'm going to fade Aaron Wiggins. His number is 8. I mean, the Thunder played a lot of guys in game 2 that they don't normally play. And they always say role players on the road or role players play better at home than on the road.
True.
Aaron Wiggins certainly qualifies. And Aaron Wiggins has as good a chance to have 3 minutes as he does 20.
He's kind of a distant dude. I'd bet unders just because he might not get any minutes.
I think so, too. I am going to look again at Hartenstein, particularly on rebounds. His number is set at 8. Well, like 7.5. 8 gets you some plus money. I like that too.
Yeah, he'll get 4 offensive rebounds.
I think so too, man. And I think because of the minutes they got from him in game 2, they feel confident having him out there.
Just stay out of foul trouble. That are his marching orders.
He had 0 fouls in game 2.
If you don't foul, you get to play. Just don't get in foul trouble because we can't afford it.
Yeah, I think they're going to keep. I think they're going to keep him on the floor quite a bit. And 3-pointers made. Tyrese Halliburton is at 3.
I think that's a gimme.
He's
going to take 12. I mean, he's going to take 12 threes. He'll find 3. Now, it might be one desperation when they're down 15 at the end of the game, but you might going to get him.
You're going to like this number. Naismith's at 3. And it's plus money for him to hit 3.
I think that, Naismith is much more likely to get 3.
If you think, because you said 4, if he hits 4, it's plus 275. That's a good number. That's a good payout, man.
He's capable. Look at that. What I got on the.
That's a pretty good payout for that guy. So there you go. There's your look at game 3 tonight. I tend to think that the Thunder pull away in this one. I don't think it's probably somewhere in between game 1 and game 2. Like it's going to be a comfortable win, but it's not going to be like an embarrassment. I think we're probably looking at about 9-10 point win.
I'm coming in for a leave no doubt kind of game.
You think so?
If I'm diagonal, everything I got that I think can work, I'm throwing it out in the first quarter. If anything has worked, anything that has showed me that I can go get a bucket, I want as big a lead early as possible, and I want to just lean on them all day long. Leave absolutely no doubt in front of the fans, in front of them,
in front of their fans.
You ain't beating us. And once you do that, they're not quitters. They ain't gonna quit. But game 4 gets a whole lot easier.
Chris says Pacers have been in the finals before with Reggie. Lost to Kobe and Shaq 2000.
So that's
the Larry Bird coach Pacers.
It's been so
long. He's right. Yeah,
that it's going to be electric. It's going to be an atmosphere because Indiana feels like they're the birthplace of this sport. So they're gonna act as if.
Well, got to win games. You could be the birthplace, but doesn't mean
it's going to be.
Florida's certainly not the birthplace of hockey, and they gave the Oilers the business the other night.
Man. If the second quarter is what I expect it to be, and I think the second quarter might be the best quarter of basketball we'll see played in this tournament. And I think after that half, if the Pacers come in and they played the kind of ball I think they're going to try to get in the second quarter, and they're not up, it's going to be a rough third quarter. If they're getting all the shots, if they're getting the passes, and Halliburton's being effective, and they still don't have any kind of decent lead, all is lost, man.
I think where I'm going to look is at halftime, especially if the game is close at halftime. That's when I want to buy the Thunder because I feel like that's when the big run is coming. I think those the halftime adjustments. I think that's when you see them come out, and as when the Pacers start to get tired, and the Pacers, ironically, push a pace that is it's difficult to. It's difficult to keep that pace up. The Thunder, though, because they are so deep, the Pacers are going to get tired before the Thunder do.
And be wary of that first couple of minutes in front of your fans and all the electricity. They're going to have to guard their wind. You're going to have to stay within yourself for a minute, or you can get down early because OKC's got nothing to lose, man. They know they're comfortable. They're playing their game. At one miracle shot, they're up 2-0, and the numbers are even worse. So you're going to have to hold on early and find something that you can stick with and keep your fans in it. Keep them busy and active and screaming, and you'll live to see another day, maybe get 6. But I just don't see it happening.
I was surprised to see it tick down to 5, so I'm not surprised to see it go back to 5.5. You kind of expected it.
Mm-hmm.
I still think this thing closes at 6.
Probably. I don't think so. I think there's more Pacer money coming.
Well, I mean, how much can there possibly be?
I'm just saying.
This is Indiana.
I mean, there might not be enough to bounce it more than a half a point, but I think we'll stick around 5. I'm not surprised it went down.
Okay. Yeah, I think it'll close at 6. So I'm gonna. I have 5.5 in my pocket. I mean, hell, if I would have woke up and seen a 5, I'd feel great about it. But in this series so far, there's been consistent money come in late on Oklahoma City. That's why I just kind of expected to be more of the same,
especially if it hangs here.
But a home court switch. Remember, it closed 11.5 in game 2. Home court switch should be about 6 points, so 5.5 is about the right number. Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't believe in Indiana coming into these playoffs. I didn't believe them as a team that were on that level. And if you had told me this 2-3 weeks ago, I would have thought the Thunder would be probably 7-8 point favorites here. So I just feel like there's value on them. All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, we'll see what's going on in the world outside of sports, and we'll give away some tickets to go see Seether and Daughtry. That's right, baby. We'll do that next. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, quick, go walk into your closet. Look for your water heater. Open the door. Do you see $400? Because I do. Your water softener right now is worth $400 to Connecticut. If you'll go buy your brand new, beautiful Connecticut, you're going to get money for your old one. That one that you're tired of, that water softener that's leaving all your dishes white and your ice cubes cloudy and that weird scum on the outside of your sink. If that's what's going on, you're not going to miss it, and they're going to give you money for it. Now's the time to get the very best water softener you can get in this part of the world, Connecticut. Works off kinetic energy, all those bells and whistles, those lights that you see on your water heater now. You don't need that. It doesn't even matter. Your water softener, your water treatment system needs to work when you work, and only then. And that's what Connecticut does. It only works when you turn on your water. Saves salt, saves you power, saves you peace of mind. Now's the time to go get that Connecticut because there's money in your old one, and there's a gift for you. How about a reverse osmosis drinking station on your sink? I paid for it. You're going to get it free. That's just for taking advantage of the best deal of the year. Not only do you have that, there is with approved credit. You ain't going to pay nothing for 20 or for 12 months. Again, it is time to get your Connecticut. Call them at 656-PURE. Go to ConnecticutSA.com for all the details. Go get the very best you can get in this part of the world, and you can come on by and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your midday commute, looks like a new trouble spot on I-10 westbound at Ralph Fair. Disabled vehicle that's now off to the shoulder. I-10 eastbound at 1604, stall right center lane closed. And on the far east side of town, we're still dealing with that stalled 18-wheeler. I-10 eastbound as you approach FM 1518. It's in the right lane and causing a 35-minute delay, slow from FM 1516. That wreck at 35 southbound off-ramp to Rittiman has just cleared. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Being arrested isn't just a setback. It's a nightmare that can destroy your life and reputation. If you want to rewrite your story after the worst night of your life, you need an aggressive, skilled defense team. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates. We're here to make sure your one bad night doesn't turn into a lifetime of regret. Protect your reputation. Contact Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit TexasArrest.com. Barton & Associates. Your defense starts here.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
It is summertime in San Antonio, and that means you want a beer that is brewed for the summertime, and Karbach Brewing has you covered. Love Street is their blonde-style Kolsch ale. It is a smooth drinker, and it is great for those days out at the pool. Right now, the next beer in their fun series is Rhubarbed. It's a fruited field beer, refreshing, vibrant brand, which used to only be available at the brewery. Well, now guess what? It's available for you all over San Antonio. Of course, Ziegenbach and Crawford Bach, those you're going to find all over the city as well. There's something for everybody's summer taste at Karbach. And they've got a lot of things going on at KarbachBrewing.com. They've got great giveaways, including some Love Street Air Force Ones, customized, designed by a local artist, get you looking good for the summer. And the great taste of summer gives listeners a chance to win a grill for their backyard. Show off your true Texan skills as a barbecue master. Grill up your own great taste of Texas.
Teams are battling for the championship, and there's no better place to get in on the intensity than ESPN Bet. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Progressive understands that bond between you and your boat. But imagine if something happened to it. Without the boat, you're just Tina with too much boat knowledge. Sure, it's helpful on the water, but with no boat, you're someone who talks way too much about knots, and no one cares what a jib is anyway. Boat Tina could get away with it because she has a boat. So make sure your boat is insured. Get Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer, and then go back to being you, Tina, who owns a boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
June is Gun Violence Awareness Month. Violence prevention is injury prevention.
911, what's your emergency?
Keep guns locked, secure, and out of reach of children. Firearms are the leading cause of death for people under 20. Never leave a gun in your vehicle. Stolen firearms are often used in other crimes. In a moment of conflict, don't let a split decision become a lifetime of regret. Never celebrate with gunfire. It's dangerous and illegal. Prevent an injury, store guns safely. Learn more at sa.gov/health.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
Vic, you got me. I don't know the words to this.
Yeah.
No one does.
Yeah, no one does. Pretty good, though.
This is Daughtry. His reflection's getting clearer. Would you like to go see Daughtry perform live?
With Seether.
With Seether.
Yeah.
713 Music Hall in Houston, Texas. Let's do caller number 4. 4 it is.
Got it.
There you go. What's this song called?
Pieces.
Well, I'll let you know when I
when you know the words.
when I learn the the lyrics. I'll listen through a couple times and I'll be ready to party with you guys going forward. But yeah. All right. Let's take a look at what's going on in the world outside of sports. And let's start with Sydney Sweeney. Are you a fan of Sydney Sweeney?
I don't know off the top of my head who that is.
Have you seen White Lotus?
Oh yeah, I am a fan of Sydney Sweeney.
She's
a
a
fetching young lady.
She's an attractive young gal. The star of White Lotus and Euphoria.
That's a whole other show. Right there.
Yes. Oh yes. Now, if I told you her latest quote for her new movie, you ready for her quote?
I'm ready.
I couldn't fit in any of my clothes. My boobs got bigger and my butt got huge. It was crazy. Like, oh my God.
Go on.
But it was amazing. Now you're really interested in this, right?
Wondering if
I read that and I was like, oh, okay, Sydney Sweeney. Well, Sydney Sweeney is going to be playing Christy Martin, the boxer, in a new biopic. And she posted on Instagram, and it's not what I was hoping for.
Oh, yikes.
It's like, you remember when Charlize Theron was in that movie Monster?
And where she played the serial killer, yeah.
Yeah, and there's no way Charlize Theron can't be hot.
You can ugly up something.
It really is. It can be done, and it seems like it's been done with now, listen, hey, it's great that she's now a real actress. She's not just a hot chick. She's a real actress, Rob.
She's getting punched in the face.
That's right. She had 3.5 months of training. She said, I started eating. I weight trained in the morning for an hour, kickbox midday for about 2 hours, then weight trained at night for an hour.
And her boobs got bigger.
And her boobs and her butt got bigger. It was amazing, she said.
I'm down.
She is very hot, but I don't know that I'm going to find her very hot in this Christy Martin.
So Christy Martin, she was the first famous female boxer.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember. Didn't she get yeah.
But don't ruin the movie.
She's kind of her backstory is it's kind of like a Tina Turner thing. Didn't her husband
I believe so.
Gotcha, yeah.
I believe so. Yes. Elsewhere in the world, you said, first of all, you think that maybe the governor is gonna
veto the THC ban, it appears.
So Texas might still have weed?
Well, I think it'll be status quo. We'll just go back.
Nothing will change?
Nothing will change, at least in the short term. But it appears that the Dan Patrick's foray kind of stepped into the government overreach part of the MAGA.
Okay.
And it's kind of gotten to like, okay, it's okay to regulate trends and fluffies and all that other kind of stuff. But now you're talking about stuff all of us use, so I mean, and I do think that there's a little bit of government overreach. Like, wait a minute, this is a $9 billion industry here. So I do think it appears the longer it's taking, the more likely a veto.
McDonald's is the shares are slipping for McDonald's. The stock shares are slipping. Redburn Atlantic gave them a sell rating for the first time since 2023. They've had a buy rating on them since 2023. And there are two reasons why they think that that McDonald's is in sell or should be a sell right now. Why McDonald's business is not going to be that good.
Their ice cream machines never work.
That's not one of their two reasons.
The Big Macs are small.
No.
They use fake meat.
No.
The French fries don't.
Well, I'll tell you what the answer is, and I've heard the rumors. Not rumors. It's Ozempic. It's the GLPs, man.
Bingo. It's people on their Wegovy and Ozempic and whatever, and those GLPs are
don't make you hungry. So
people are, but McDonald's is like, hey,
aren't you hungry? Pull over.
What the hell, man? You see the big arch. What are you doing?
Fries are hot. Waiting on
that and inflation, obviously. But yeah, it says a 1% drag today could easily build to 10% or more over time, particularly for brands skewed toward lower income consumers or group occasions. So yeah, with the weight loss drugs starting to hit McDonald's in the pan. Ronald McDonald he wants you to be fat.
Well, if you don't have cravings, there went probably 40% of their business.
That's right.
You're driving down the road, you see that right there. It's quick. It's right there. And you don't have to worry about it. And you're not hungry now. Yeah, I imagine it does hurt.
Real quick, did you see this on Ozempic? How it's
yeah, you get a few inches, it appears.
What happened?
With one of the side things of all the folks that are on these GLP-1s is added
penis size.
added size.
Oh yeah, like when you get thinner,
up.
anytime you're thinner, your crank looks bigger. Yeah,
you're lessening up the border regions.
Oh yeah,
you've dug away the dirt. You flattened out the land.
Hey, I was on Ozempic or similar for 2 years. So
man, you should have seen me when I'd get out of the sauna during weight cuts. When I'd be down 185 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm walking around my house showing my wife like,
too bad you were too weak to do anything about it.
Yeah, I couldn't
if
have
I
sex.
move quickly, I'm going to cramp up. But look at this.
Couldn't have sex, but I'd be like, I was like shaking it
happens,
around.
I'm going to pass out.
You are
If I lose any blood to this one, I'm passing out. So don't do anything. Take a picture and we'll marvel at it later.
Justin Anthony Banta. Justin,
about the ultimate thing that sucks.
It does
I can't do anything about it, but isn't it glorious?
She was just like, no, this looks like a
go away.
Go away. Justin Banta is 38 years old.
I don't know who that is.
Well, he is a Department of Justice employee.
Okay.
And he is now accused of capital murder.
Oh, yikes.
Deputies say that his girlfriend told him in September that she's pregnant. And he said, I think that you should have an abortion and I'll buy you some Plan C and we'll get rid of that baby. And she said, well, I want to keep the baby. So on October 17th, when she was about 6 weeks pregnant, they went to a doctor's appointment where a sonogram showed the baby had a strong heartbeat, was in good overall health. Later that day, she met with him at a coffee shop, and cops believe that Banta slipped an abortion drug into her drink when she wasn't looking.
Oh, wow. I've heard of this before. This happens.
The next day, she began to suffer from extreme fatigue and heavy bleeding. She went to the emergency room and later had a miscarriage. Now, because this is in the detectives interviewed him, confiscated his phone to review it for any evidence. Cops allege he accessed the phone remotely and conducted a factory reset on the phone, thereby deleting any potential proof that he bought the abortion drug or conducted any incriminating searches. But this happened in Texas.
Uh-oh.
So it's just you're not just in trouble for spiking a drink here.
You're in trouble.
That's murder.
Yeah.
Murder. The coffee shop apparently had full cooperation, which led to the arrest. I'm guessing they caught him on film.
Oh, you could see him dropping it in there.
Yeah. I would just said it was a little bit of sugar helps the medicine go down. Yeah.
This isn't going to end well.
No, dude, this is
because he committed crime he did wrong. I just don't know what that wrong is.
Well, it's capital murder in Texas.
I know, but I mean that's where the crux to this is going to be, and to define that.
Yeah.
Just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty.
Well,
good.
There's always you got to get convicted.
Yeah, you have to get convicted.
It's really hard to get away from police in a high-speed chase. I mean, they've got a lot. They've got all the technology. They got helicopters. They've got the Hellcats. They've got the spike strips. They've just got so many things working for them.
Yeah.
But in Denver, this guy he was never going to get away from this guy. He got in a crash at about 3:45 p.m. Officers arrived. They found an unresponsive person inside a white GMC Yukon. The driver suddenly regained consciousness and tried to flee the scene, but an officer had entered the vehicle to turn it off and render aid to the driver. So there was a cop in the car with him when he's like,
that'd be me.
Damn it. He woke up and he's like, oh man, I got to get out of here.
Dude, I'm trying to help you, brother. I thought you would slow down.
Police use a precision immobilization technique and forced it into a light pole to bring it to a stop, and then they took him into custody.
Don't make him crash.
Oh, man.
Let him go. I'll hitch home. I'll call an Uber. Let him go.
Oh, my God, I got to get out of here. Damn it, there's a cop in the back seat.
So you made him drive into a pole? You knew I was in the car.
Oh, it's so great. All right, let's take our last break of the day, Rob. When we come back, we will wrap up the show the way we always do by taking a look at the daily lines. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I hope you woke up this morning feeling good about yourself. Nothing painful keeping you out of your life. If that's you, carry on. You're doing things right. But if you're like most of us, there's probably something painful that's keeping you out of doing things you want to do. If you're dealing with that, stop. There's a fix. It's out there all around San Antonio. It's called Arasti. Arasti providers are highly trained medical professionals with one goal in mind, and that's to get you out of pain as fast as possible. And the reason they're so successful is they do it in ways you might not have considered. Most of us think we got something painful, we're going to go, doctor, get a pill, and it'll go away. Some of these things don't go away and need expert treatment to get fixed. and that's where Rosti comes in. How they do it is key because it has nothing to do with pills or medication to hide or dull the pain, nothing to do with surgery to prolong the problem. It is about getting fixed and fixed fast, and so many things can be fixed with a Rosti. Small soft tissue injuries, sprains, or strains, ideal candidate for that. Maybe you're dealing with frozen shoulders or hips, those things that just won't let you move the way you used to. That can be fixed as well. Tension, headaches, plantar fasciitis, just to begin, the things that can be fixed with a Rosti and fixed fast. Here's the good news. You don't need a referral to go see a provider. And here, even better, they accept most insurances. What are you waiting on? Call them right now. The number's 1-800-404-6050. Their website is Rosti.com, a great resource and a map of all the local providers. Listen, don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. The fix is called a Rosti. Call them now. Let them take care of you. Before you know it, you're back in the game, and you can come on by and thank me later.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Apparently, the cat meant a lot to you guys in the mornings, and it became the morning show mascot. Cool. Keep it in the morning.
Yeah, but our mascot in the afternoon is Pledge. So, I mean, that's y'all can have the kitty in the morning, and that's great.
Kitty in the morning could also be a country song.
Well, that could be.
Who doesn't want to start their day that way?
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
We're going to draw one name of a person that sold their car to GiveMeTheVin.com and give them $25,000.
Wow. Give Me the VIN is giving away $25,000 in cash every month.
Could you imagine being that person? Wouldn't that feel great?
That would be awesome.
Well, honey, you won.
Oh my God. Heather Krager of Dallas, Texas won $25,000 and Give Me the VIN's big cash giveaway. That's so cool. You could be next to get a little more, maybe a lot more. I guess that old Mercedes was worth more than I thought. No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Rosti. At Rosti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Rosti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Rosti, we fix pain fast.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures, until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive, so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District knows that life moves fast, and the last thing you want is to miss out due to an illness. Vaccines are safe and help your immune system fight off serious disease that can stop or change your plans. They protect you, the people you love, and can prevent you from getting sick. Let's get vaccinated, because when it comes to your health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. For more information, visit sa.gov/health.
This is Jason Minix. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Pissing the night away. Pissing the night away. He drinks a whiskey drink. He drinks a vodka drink. He drinks a lager drink. He drinks a cider drink. He sings the songs that remind him of the good times. He sings the songs that remind him of the better times.
He doesn't drink Pilsner.
Yes. No. He drinks a lager drink.
Pilsner.
Yeah. Yep.
Euro.
I get knocked down. I think he's Aussies. They're Aussies.
I thought they were Euros.
I believe. I don't know. Check Chumbawamba.
Yeah.
I think Aussies.
What is Foster's? That's a lager.
That is.
Had a
That's
lager. They're British.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, UK.
Damn, fooled me this whole time.
They're from Burnley.
Huh. I would have always thought Australian.
They've also their band has also been known as Skin Disease, Antidote, and Scab Aid. They settled on Chumbawamba.
Do you think he really drinks all those drinks at once? Like,
I hope so.
Liquor before beer, have no fear. I know that's true. But what about cider? Who drinks the cider?
Yeah.
Well, cider's just like beer, right? I mean,
it's very sweet.
Yeah. I mean,
I've never had cider.
You've never had it?
I had a cider. I had a cider before I had the sour.
No, that's true.
Yeah, I had cider before sour, which is there a rhyme for that?
No,
cider before sour.
He drinks a sour
at an early hour.
Possibly.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap up the show the way we always do by taking a look at the Daily Line.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We mentioned the Thunder back up to 5.5-point favorites after
steadily
a brief moment at 5. Jump back up to 5.5. I do expect 6 by the end of the day, but I've been wrong before. So crazier things have happened. And the total is still hanging tight at 228.
What was it at the last game?
228.5.
So,
and it was a painful over. I mean, like 9 points in the last 45 seconds, just nonsense. If you think the Pacers win tonight, plus 180 is your payout there.
If you think they're going to win, go all in on this.
Take them for the series.
Dude, this is it. No, not for the series. This is it. They ain't going to win another one. If they're going to win, if they win, it will be it. I don't even think they're going to win tonight.
If you think they can win the series still,
no way.
4-1.
That is such sucker money.
4-1. In the NHL, that's the game tomorrow. The Oilers back in Florida. That line continues to balloon. The Panthers now minus 155. Basically, like most people think game 3 was a funeral.
Seriously.
I mean, you had 2 ultra competitive games. It's 1-1. And then game 3 was a 6-1 blowout. And now all of a sudden it's like, yeah, this is over. Even though it's only 2-1.
Well, I'll tell you.
But it does feel tough.
For a non-hockey understanding guy, I know sports. I know what great teams look like, and I know what defeated teams look like. And Edmonton looked like a defeated team.
And they got beat up.
Yeah.
Like, they lost the fight too. They started a fight and they still lost that. That's a bad look, Bubba. Bad look. In Major League Baseball, Cal Quantrill and the Marlins looking for a second consecutive victory.
Ride them high.
Oh, my. Cal Quantrill takes the hill. He's plus 130 in Pittsburgh. Bailey Falter for the Pirates, minus 155. Ben Brown goes for the Cubbies. They're in Philly to take on the Phils in Philadelphia to take on, you know what I mean. Jesus Luzardo going for Philly, minus 115. Nick Lodolo and the Reds in Cleveland. Reds minus 120 on the road. Spencer Schwellenbach goes for Atlanta. Braves minus 150 at the Brew Crew. Chad Patrick going for Milwaukee. Eric Lauer goes for the Blue Jays. Matthew Liberatore goes for the Cardinals. Birds. Oh, I guess they're both birds. Redbirds minus 140. Brian Woo goes for the Mariners today. He's taking on Eduardo Rodriguez in Arizona. That is a straight pick 'em, baby. Who you like? Athletics. They make the long journey from Sacramento down to Orange County to take on the LA Angels. Kyle Hendricks goes for the Angels. JP Sears for the A's. Angels minus 140. Dodgers coming off an ass kicking. They got whooped last night by the Padres. They they try to get it back tonight. The Padres won't have Dylan Cease on the hill, so it'll have to be Randy Vasquez getting the job done. Justin Robleski goes for the Dodgers. Dodgers minus 145 favorites. Casey Mize and the Tigers. I should have bet the Tigers yesterday.
We talked about
them being the best team in baseball all of a sudden, and then they were underdogs. Well, guess what? Today, again, they're underdogs against the Orioles. Casey Mize, even money at Baltimore. Zach Eflin and the O's minus 120. I think I'm going to bet the Tigers today at even money.
Yeah, Mize coming off his first no decision. He's throwing good. I don't get this line.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. The Orioles, the preseason expectations, they just suck now. Like, we got to pretend like we can't pretend the Orioles are good. They're not.
It's like the team that tried so hard to even up a game, and once they evened it up, they ran out of gas. The Orioles have tried so hard to get good over the last 4 years. They've just run out of gas.
Yep.
I mean, there's just no more left.
Nationals are in New York to take on the Mets. Jake Irvin and David Peterson, your pitchers. The Mets minus 280 at home. My goodness, that's a big number on the Mets. Zach Littell and the Rays are in Boston taking on Bueller.
This is day 3 of the Roman, whatever his name era.
Roman Anthony era. Walker Bueller going for the Red Sox. They are favored minus 115. Clark Schmidt goes for the Yankees, taking on Chris Bubich. Bubich plus 110. The Yankees minus 130 on the road. Jack Leiter for the Rangers going into Minnesota to take on David Festa.
It's a party.
Fiesta. David Festa, a minus 150 favorite. And Sean Burke goes for the White Sox. They're in Houston to take on the Astros. Mucho Gusto, Ryan Gusto, a minus 175 favorite for the Astros. And
big money. No
Here
whammies.
we go, baby. Here we go. The San Francisco Giants, minus 206 on the road with Robbie Ray. They are in Colorado, taking on Kyle Freeland and the Rockies.
Who got his first win last week.
That's
He's 1-8.
Plus 167.
Get
if
it
you
now.
think the Rockies can get the job
I don't think it's going to
done.
I don't think it's going to.
Art says the Orioles suck now. Yeah, they kind of suck now.
Damn, we suck again.
We suck again. The U.S. Open, which tees off tomorrow morning.
So what did Will Doctor tell us? So we got guys named Keegan Bradley.
Keegan Bradley's 100-1 to win outright.
We're
So if
trying to
you're
get
looking
some
for a
money for
long
it.
shot, that's what you're looking
And
for.
and then there's Cam Young.
Yep. Also, he is 150-1.
And if you're really paying attention, the Scandinavian champion, we assume, will be Ludvig
Olberg, top Scandinavian. That's the big plays for him. I'm going to play a couple things. I'm going to play Rory McIlroy to miss the cut.
I always like betting on
at plus
the negative.
240. I'm betting on failure, man. Betting on failure. And I think if I'm going to go with Ludvig Elberg, I'm just going to go with him to top 10 it and have him at plus 260.
I'll say Will was certainly high on him. I mean, it
Yeah.
seems to be a kind of a shot maker's course. You went back to Rory. I want Rory to go full on Caddyshack. I want him to go full on Rodney Dangerfield. If you're out here just having fun, let's do this. I want him to have the giant golf bag with a keg in it, and I want him to have the laser guided. All of that. I mean, you're having fun. Let's do this.
I want him to get just pissed off and like pick up the ball and throw it
Chunk
and like
it, just do whatever.
Just be a total mess.
You're not gonna make the cut anyway.
Yeah.
Just have some fun doing
At least
it.
we hope you don't make the cut. That's the big plan, is for you to not make the cut. So please do not make the cut.
Like a hoe in your bag. Just a hoe.
And money has shifted since yesterday on the College World Series. The College World Series gets underway on Friday. Yesterday, when the lines opened, LSU was the favorite to win the College World Series. They are no longer the favorites. Arkansas now the favorites, plus 195. Pig Suey.
What changed?
I'm guessing some people threw some money at Arkansas.
Arkansas broke their piggy banks and cashed in their savings bonds.
Yep. Granny sold her tooth.
Sold her gold tooth. We've been holding out to go to Eureka Springs, but now we're going to put it down on the Razorbacks.
Arkansas plus 195, LSU plus 230, Coastal Carolina 6-1, Oregon State plus 650, UCLA 8-1, Arizona 14-1, Louisville 17-1, and Murrah State,
those Racers,
50-1 on the Racers. Let's go Racers. So yeah, there you go. That is your look at the day. Oh, I guess you know what? Wait one. How about this? The opening odds for Canelo and Terrence Crawford.
I'm interested to hear this. I kind of like Crawford close. Kind of like him.
Canelo Alvarez minus 195. Almost a 2-1 favorite over Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford plus 155. Size is a big deal, but I might be on Terrence Crawford at plus money. I might be at plus money. Come on, Big Red. Let's go, Terrence Crawford. Let's get the job done. I guess Canelo's the redhead, but I'm just thinking of Nebraska boy, Terrence Crawford. But yeah, I think I'm gonna be on Bud in this one at plus 155. But here's the secret. Here's the secret sauce to betting Canelo fights, particularly on Mexican Independence Day. Wait till the day of the fight, because every Mexican in the world will bet on Canelo that day. And that's, if you want to bet against Canelo, you wait till the day of. If you want to bet on Canelo,
do it now.
Do it now. I'll write it and we'll do it now. Do it live.
Do it live.
So yeah, I'm gonna wait on Terrence Crawford. Wait till you guys wait till VIX people come in and put all their savings on Canelo.
They're going to take a payday loan out.
That's
There you
right.
go.
Sell your pawn your rims.
Yeah.
I'll be back next week.
Stupid.
I got to pawn the grill.
Yeah. Well, friends, we'll do it again tomorrow. It's been fun.
Small Friday, almost here.
Yes, tomorrow is a small Friday. The Blitz comes up at 2. Give them a listen, friends.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTL.